Dude, do you have something with checkers today?
And we're back to the worst podcast on the internet. Doom, doom, doom.
V, that is the shittiest customer service voice I've ever heard. I mean,
Pretty bad.
Do you want me to pitch in a customer service?
No,
voice?
Ron, we've heard that shit before. We don't need that right now.
All right,
We
gentlemen.
just heard it.
It was good.
Let's get going, folks. All right.
V N APE.
Episode whatever.
I want you to go ahead and tell me what the fuck is going on, V.
I mean, I have a lot of things we could talk about, but I don't even know where we could start.
I was gonna start with some fucked up shit.
You want to start off?
We could go in turns.
Sure.
What you got, bro? You want to start with Israel and Palestine?
I feel like that's really obvious, but sure.
Yeah, let's go for that.
I mean, there's a lot to dig in that. So.
Let's go for that. Yeah, let's start with Israel and Palestine.
Well, we haven't we potted in a bit, but we haven't uploaded anything, guys. But in these past weeks, Israel and Palestine have been at war. I'm sure everybody knows that by now. And just kind of want to see people's thoughts on this. Like, what are your thoughts, Ape? And I'll display mine's last, but...
I mean, honestly, one of the things that's going on is that nobody knows what the fuck is going on. This is a big issue that is pretty common nowadays, that, you know, people see all types of stories in the news and shit, and they don't know what the fuck is going on, but...
A lot of narratives.
By the way, we also got Leo in the building, guys.
We do have Leo in the building.
Yes,
And
sir.
Ron, but he doesn't have a mic. There he is.
But let's go ahead and focus on the situation at hand, though, because in Israel, yeah, you do have Israel, and, you know, for all its faults, it's not like ISIS. At least not in any official manner.
Bro, let's get to the book.
Do they have a terrorist organization in Israel?
All this. Everybody is on some shit where it's like, if you're not siding with Israel, you're like some sort of fucking terrorist, or you're this and you're that.
Oh, they're saying that if you side with Israel too, shit.
And if you're a Republican, let me get my opinion out there. I feel like a lot of conservatives are so
But
heavy.
Hamas is a terrorist group.
I'm not denying
Definitely.
that. But Hamas isn't all Palestinians. Or they don't.
It's actually a pretty small
They don't
percent.
stand for all Palestinians. Like all
Oh
Palestinians.
shit! Neither do all Israelis.
Sure, but because
That doesn't make a difference.
But
does
because of the fact that it seemed like that, or it's perceived like that
by who?
By media, by all these fucking media companies.
As though
as if like
Hamas stands for all Palestinians
type shit. I feel like it, in some
I don't think so. I think
in some instances.
I think there's been a lot of criticism of Israel, and you know, a lot of it has even been based on bullshit, like that shit that happened where they said that they bombed this hospital and that there were 500 casualties. Like, that wasn't even fucking.
How do you know that?
First of all, there's no evidence for it. Second of all, it's like various intelligence agencies have already figured out that that's not the case.
It was like the 40 decapitated babies. Propaganda.
Yeah, I don't know shit about that. I haven't seen any.
Propaganda.
Apparently, Ben Shapiro had tweeted a picture
An AI
where it was
picture.
like burnt babies.
I also didn't find any evidence that it was AI generated.
Well, somebody said
a lot of people, they ran it through the site that literally detects AI images.
They showed a screenshot of some shit.
Yeah, that's not gonna.
There's a
But
site.
that to me, when I see shit on Twitter like that, where it's like a back and forth of pictures, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I'm not gonna have an opinion.
You do the
on
research yourself, and there's a website where you could upload the image, and it tells you if it's AI generated.
It might.
And it was AI generated.
Even then, though, how would you know for sure?
I mean, then what are you gonna trust? If you can't trust that, then what do you trust?
You wouldn't.
I'm just saying though, like if you don't know 100%.
I don't know where the picture came from. I don't know shit about it.
It doesn't even look real. You can tell by the hands. The hands are all morphed like in AI pictures.
They said it was like a dog or some shit. They ended up saying that. I don't know.
I do think that like if you are seen as a guy that's like, yo, I'm for both sides. I just want peace. It makes people are treating you like you're some fucking.
Can I please put out some facts first?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. In Gaza, I wanted to say that 50% of the population, the Palestinians in Gaza, by the way, there's 2.3 million people in Gaza. Mm-hmm. Half of them are under 18 years old.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Now, 75% of them are under 25 years old. Mm-hmm. So if you do want to carpet bomb Gaza, if you are for the ethnic cleansing of Palestinians, you're literally saying, let's kill children. Let's kill people that haven't even reached their full potential in life. And those are facts. I'm not putting that on my asshole. You feel me? Like, Gaza is full of children right now. And if Israel does a ground invasion, there's going to be a lot of children killed. There's going to be a lot of people that haven't even They haven't
Yeah.
even reached the mental
Do you
stage
think-
where
I
they
think
can literally pick sides. They're literally blank canvases.
That's true.
Forget about that. Do you think?
I can't forget
Do you
about that.
think
That's
that
important.
Israel? No, I don't mean that. I mean like forget about that in the sense like, do you think they're handling the situation wrong?
I don't think there's no way to handle it right.
They obviously can't just take the Hamas attack and just just be like,
The whole
okay,
city, bro. They can't do that either.
they can't just be like, okay, peace and love, and we're not gonna do anything. Obviously, they're gonna retaliate. But what Israel is scared of, if they do launch this ground invasion into Gaza, Hezbollah could attack from the north, and they don't have the personnel, they don't have the military to stand up to both fronts. They might be able to, invade Gaza, and the invasion would take a couple years. It would take a long time. It's not going to be something that's quick, you know?
Well, one of the things
And if Hezbollah attacks, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but if Hezbollah attacks, they're fucked. Then we would need to have boots on the ground, like American boots on the ground. Last thing we want. This is heading towards World War III, like, quick. And it was the same thing with World War I. A bunch of geopolitical tensions in a lot of small places made the United States react, and that's what forced us into the First World War, which is looking a lot like now. You know, they say history repeats itself.
yeah, we do have a weird situation going on there right now.
A lot of
because-
geopolitical tension. A lot.
But if you do look at the actual situation over in Gaza, I mean, there's no. It's not even like they have an actual government in any real sense. What
Isn't Hamas
what they basically have is Hamas.
That's what I'm saying though.
Gaza is an open air prison.
So
Just
how
putting
could you
that out there.
blame them though? Because that's all they got.
Well, nobody allows them to I mean, nobody wants them to go anywhere. Like even Egypt won't let them go in.
Won't let who go in?
The
The
Palestinians.
Palestinians.
Oh.
And
But
so-
didn't Egypt say that they're thinking of actually allowing them?
Yeah, they're talking about humanitarian corridors and shit like
What was
that.
it, Saudi Arabia?
But the problem is, like, even think about, like, Lebanon, for example, right? In Lebanon, I mean, the situation got way worse after they ended up putting a lot of Palestinians over there. And it ended up leading to the situation that Lebanon has right now.
But think about
So it
the
was a
Palestinians.
fucking disaster.
I just want to say, think about the Palestinians being bombed, like in
Yeah.
2014, and you know they've been bombed like every certain amount of years.
They do, yeah.
They so in a way, maybe Israel even knew this was coming, and they're like using it as an excuse to like go in.
Who knows,
And
but-
you know, fuck the Palestinians up. Who knows? But they definitely don't like each other, and it's come to a boiling point. You know, where like it's just gonna explode. Something was bound to happen.
Hamas fucked around and found out.
The problem is that well, I'll put it like this,
both
right?
of them fucked around.
So about 20% of the population in Israel, not in Palestine, in Israel, is Arab, right? Now you can say what you will about human rights abuses over there. You're not gonna see that there's a bunch of Jews over in Arab nations. And Muslim majority
Usually not.
countries. That's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, usually not.
A group like Hamas doesn't want to just eradicate the idea
Of Jews?
of Israel as a country. They want to eradicate the Jews
Jews.
themselves.
Yeah,
right?
everywhere in
So-
all of the world. They've said it countless times.
Right, where what you see them is they adore guys like Hitler. They love that type of shit.
Hamas is definitely the enemy.
On the other hand, there's no way of like lying to ourselves and pretending as though there's not a desire from Israel to just get rid of these fucking people.
Yeah, there's that too. Because
They've been
always,
trying for
they've always
years.
had this tension, this back and forth tension.
'Cause
So it's like
Well, the idea is Israel doesn't want to just fucking bomb
For
the
no
place,
reason.
because even Israel in and of itself, I mean, it does have a government where it does have some form, at least some fucking structure that isn't like Iran, where it's a pure fucking dictatorship.
doesn't Israel have one of the strongest military?
Strongest intelligence agencies.
They
Not
do-
military, intelligence agencies, yeah.
Strongest
The Mossad is crazy. Crazy. Which it begs to the question, how did they not see this coming? Or they did see it coming and they let it slide by so that they could go into Gaza and just finish them, you know?
I mean, what do you expect though? If someone bombs you, what are you gonna do?
I said that Israel should be focusing on Hamas, but while they focus on Hamas, they're also going to hurt a lot of innocent people.
Yeah, there's no way to not do it that way.
If they carpet bomb the city, a bunch of kids will die.
They're not gonna do that.
Even a ground invasion, they're gonna be booby traps, and Hamas is gonna be in the city, and they're gonna fuck them up. But Israel is gonna come out on top at the end, definitely.
I mean, Palestinians, sadly, are gonna be There's gonna be
obliterated.
Not
They've
even
already
obliterated.
been.
There's gonna be innocent ones that are unfortunately gonna.
A bunch of innocent ones have already died. They've bombed 6 hospitals already. They've literally bombed 6 hospitals already.
You said Israel bombed 6 hospitals?
Yeah. And you know what's crazy?
Where's that coming from?
Just facts that I look up, you know. Not only on Twitter, but I look up at various news sites. Even though there's a lot of propaganda and a lot of like false narratives out there, you gotta.
How do you know what you're looking at is true?
You gotta do your own research. And if you believe that your own research is backed by facts, then that's what you go with.
But if you believe that your thing is backed by facts,
you look up facts, and you have to see that the facts back up your research, back up what they're stating to be true. Without doing your own research, then how would you know anything is true?
I would say in this sense that the probably the easiest way to avoid all those casualties would be a ground invasion. There's no way in which just bombing the fuck out of them is going to get rid of it. Plus, they don't want to bomb the fuck out of them, especially when they have a bunch of hostages that are from their side and Americans in there. That's not even in their own best interests to do shit like that.
But like I said, Hezbollah is inching towards the north. They don't really want it with Hezbollah. They know that they'll lose if they go against Hezbollah. They know that. Hezbollah has more military, a lot more military.
In terms of personnel?
Mm-hmm. Boots on the ground, Hezbollah got it.
In terms of boots on the ground, they might. Israeli has 300,000 in reserves that they got
Mike
out
brought
right
up
now.
something really interesting. I don't know if you want to say it, Mike, or you mind me having a go at it. But
what is it?
About conservatives really siding with Israel.
That's
and
true.
To me, it's not really a conservative ideal to side with Israel. It seems like a leftist ideal. So why are so many conservatives siding with Israel when it seems like it would be a leftist ideal, like a more liberal approach to things?
It seems like it's backwards. How the leftists are supporting Palestine, and then
Yeah, I agree 100%.
No, it's pretty much been that way. I mean, the Soviet Union was the one that created the dichotomy where, you know, Israel is the enemy of socialism and the Palestinians are the oppressed, and they wanted to create group of
so it's always been like that.
They wanted to generate Arab distaste of the West that would drive them against Israel, the United States, and all these other countries.
Created this?
No, they put a lot of
been an
effort into
ally.
it. They did the same thing with the Civil Rights Union, where they tried to infiltrate communism into it in order to make black people into communists, and then try
Talking about Black Panthers, bro?
Black Panthers were communist, yeah.
They were Marxist, 100%. 1,000%.
Yeah, so...
No, people would argue that they're not Marxists.
Well, then
Definitely were.
Well, then they...
Is that a fact, though?
They didn't look at the name of the fucking group.
Is that a fact?
Yes,
it's a fact.
Yeah. Self-declared.
Self-declared? Every Black Panther was a...
Most of them. That was their main ideology, came from Marxist ideals. You've said this to me before, so I don't...
I'm just asking.
Yeah.
I just know...
Yeah.
I know the Soviet Union, you told me that before, that they were the ones that were...
They did want to infiltrate the civil rights movement.
But
they wanted to infiltrate basically all of that shit.
But Abe, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Do you believe that Israel has launched an occupation of Palestine in the last 50 years? Yeah. Are they occupying Palestine in the last 50 years?
You mean like they have actual Israelis in Palestine?
No, I mean they came to Palestine and they took the land from the Palestinians and moved them into Gaza and the West Bank.
Well,
Did they occupy Palestine in the last 50 years? Huh?
From who?
The Israels.
Because after World War II, it was owned basically. Palestine wasn't like some Arab shit. It was basically under British occupation.
I know.
And they just dipped. They didn't want anything to do with it. They feuded it out for themselves.
So you don't think Israel kicked them out?
I think they kicked each other out. If you look at what happened in 1948, I mean, they ended up kicking out Israelis, and then...
But the Palestinians wanted to come back, and the British weren't letting them for a while.
I think Leo's asking because that's like the whole thing that...
Yeah, the narrative is that Israel is like
were
this...
there, and then the Jews came, they took them out.
Yeah.
And then that's what he's kind of
I mean,
asking.
how far back in history do you want to go then?
I just asked about the last 50 years.
You know, because
I guess the last 70 years, sorry. Last 7 years.
I'm not sure, bro, so I can't even answer.
Yeah, I don't even know, because this would be like a situation where you're trying to describe like what the original occupation would be. And
the Palestinians weren't there originally.
No.
It is Jerusalem.
Originally,
they fought even holy wars over this.
Originally, Islam didn't exist. back then. I mean, even
We're
Islam
talking
is...
about a long time ago.
Well, how far back do you want to go? That was the
No, like I
question.
said, I was just talking about the last 70 years.
Right? Why?
Yeah.
Why there?
Because that's when like most of this geopolitical tension really like started to
After
kick
World
off.
War II, yeah,
Yeah.
we had that. But it was under British occupation at that time. Now, there's no idea that the Palestinian state would exist and that you would have, you know, this freedom for Israelis to exist freely with a Muslim majority nation. That's just not going to happen. That's not how Islam works.
Yo, Ron,
Interesting.
is there any chance you can get a grabber, bro?
A grabber.
Yeah, this shit is horrible, bro.
I mean, you can find the most intense,
I'll try to roll.
fervent, crazy fucks in Judaism.
There's definitely some radicals in Judaism.
And you're
There's radicals in the Arab.
There's radicals everywhere.
now the
radicals everywhere.
idea is that like even the most moderate Muslim is still radical as fuck in general. I mean, the entire system is fucked
Why is it radical? Even the most chill Muslim.
because they still have crazy ass fucking beliefs about the way that shit is supposed
Yeah,
to
but
work.
the Bible has crazy beliefs.
Yeah, but people don't fucking believe them. That's the issue.
What do you mean, though?
They just don't. Like there's shit in the
That's-
Bible that
that's not
says
a good
that women
argument.
shouldn't priest.
Doesn't the Bible endorse slavery?
Yes.
So what's your argument?
That people don't fucking believe it, therefore it's inconsequential to how people are acting.
And you're saying that all Muslims believe that book?
They believe it a whole lot more than Christians believe their book.
There's like a
I don't know. What basis are you?
And
I'm basing it on like compare what the fucking
And
Quran
they don't really
says.
bend and change their ideals like Christians do.
they
Christians
don't.
change their ideals with like whatever is popular, you know,
Christians
whatever.
have 1 million denominations.
Yeah.
Fucking
I'm
but
pretty sure
Islam-
Muslims. I'm pretty sure Muslims do too.
yeah, and each
I'm
one
pretty
is
sure-
radical as fuck.
Islam
I'm telling
and
you,
Muslims
like it's,
though, they're not compatible with Western ideology, like the First Amendment, the Constitution. They're
No.
not compatible at all.
no.
But I don't know. Just the fucking Bible is endorsing slavery, so I
I mean,
feel
everybody was endorsing
But, like,
slavery when the fucking
But
Bible
Christians
was written.
evolve and change, and their views change, and they don't stick to one
what
thing.
about Muslims?
They pretty much stick
Their
to like
shit
what
is
the Quran
stagnant.
says.
And the amount of holy war that's in the Quran is like nothing in the fucking Bible. I mean, it's just on another fucking league.
Do you think this is the Israel-Palestine conflict is like a new age version of a crusade?
I mean,
Like the crusades that were waged in the ancient times. Would it be like a new age version of the crusades because they're fighting over the Holy Land?
I mean, you could put it like that, but the amount of times that land has been fucking occupied and then reoccupied. And then
That's what I'm saying. It's like
fucking
a
taken away.
crusade.
I mean,
That's my point.
The entire issue really is a religious issue,
It is.
fundamentally.
Yeah.
The other problem is that there's a bunch of secular Jewish people that still support the idea of Israel, which I'm not inherently against the idea of Israel.
What side would you describe yourself to be on?
What side? I don't
Who
think.
are you siding with? Are you siding with anybody? Are the
don't think-
sides blurred to you?
I don't think I actually know enough to side with anybody on any of this shit.
You seem pretty knowledgeable on the situation.
No, absolutely not.
You don't think so?
Absolutely not. No, I don't think anyone in this fucking room is knowledgeable about the situation.
Well, a lot of conservatives seem to differ.
Well, they can.
They seem very. I mean, Ben Shapiro is fucking
Well, Ben,
livid.
Ben Shapiro
He's
is
Jewish.
fucking.
His ego's out of this world.
No, I mean, I like Ben Shapiro a lot of the times.
He's very emotionally involved in this
But
situation.
the thing is, it's hitting too home for him. So it's like there's,
And he's Jewish, right?
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's gonna have a biased, skewed look at things.
Yeah.
He's looking at it through a certain lens.
Now, in terms of the insanity, from a geopolitical perspective, like the insanity that occurs in the Muslim majority countries is just fucking out of this world type of wild.
Wait, what? Repeat that again.
From a
The insanity.
the amount of insanity, yeah, the type of shit. I mean, there's people that are fucking, you know, they completely are okay with the idea of stoning a bitch to death because she sucked somebody else's dick or because somebody accused her of sucking somebody else's dick. You
And
know,
then she gets stoned to death.
right?
Yeah, but
that-
I
that-
don't think that's every fucking Muslim, though, Abe.
It doesn't have to be.
It has to be the
Why,
most-
why does it have to be every fucking Muslim?
But it has to be the fact that it's most.
It's
of
a
them.
lot. Yeah,
But
it's a
you're-
fucking lot.
I don't know.
It's
where
an enormous fucking amount.
It's
Look
a
at
good-
the,
it's a good
where's
amount
that
of
evidence
people.
Look at
from,
the
though?
fucking you can even survey them. There's been research done on the beliefs.
Word.
I mean, this is I can't even believe you're.
Listen, I believe you, but I'm just saying that I don't know where the evidence is coming from. I'm sure that there's a lot of Muslims.
There's been a whole lot, not just the actions of countries, but like the actual things that are supported, right? It's not a fucking moderate. Right. It's not a moderate belief system that believes in fucking like holy wars that need to be enacted by people. Even the most moderate Muslim who will tell you that shit about, you know, jihad is basically about a spiritual battle rather than a literal thing. The vast majority of them still want fucking Sharia law, which endorses shit like fucking, you know, throwing gay people out of fucking buildings as a death sentence in just a ridiculous amount of ways for you to die, like cutting the fucking arms off of people for stealing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a ridiculous...
It's just a lot of violence.
...set of opinions to have. This is like fucking barbaric shit.
Is that an issue?
Yes.
Why is it an issue?
Why is murdering people and fucking cutting off their legs for stealing a loaf of bread an issue?
Why is killing people that are gay an issue? Is that what you're asking?
Why is that a problem, you're saying?
You're saying it's an issue because this is something...
Because this is a fucking incredibly frequently held view.
And we're in 2023.
Because it's a frequently held view, and a lot of Muslims go with it.
The vast majority, yes.
And also the times we live in.
They'll fucking escape Sharia law, go to a different country in the West, and say they want Sharia law there. Okay?
Really?
Really, yes. That's what you're saying. I mean, look at what's happening in Britain, right? Look at the amount of fucking protests. Like, people are not saying... People are going around talking about fucking killing all the goddamn Jews again.
No, listen, I don't agree with any of that. Let's be clear.
It's not about fucking, oh no, just Israel. I don't agree with it being a fucking state.
They don't agree with Jewish people.
They don't agree with fucking the idea of Jewish people existing, right? Now that part isn't necessarily, you know...
That's fucked up.
As common... As
the shit you're saying.
As shit about Sharia law, for example, right?
No age Nazis.
But that part is frequent enough to be incredibly concerning, especially with the amount of people that are flooding the West that hold those views.
I feel like Sam Harris talks a lot about how
look at the fucking prophet. I mean, this is a guy that married a fucking 6-year-old and fucked her when she was 9.
I'm not aware of this situation.
This is what Muhammad did. This is in the fucking Holy
Quran.
I'm sure. This is your guy.
I'm sure.
Rizza Islam would be like,
okay,
cap, this is not true.
No, he would say it is true, but he would fucking try to, you know,
defend it.
He'd be an apologist for it.
Is this something that a lot of Muslims get as like a...
Yeah.
They get a lot of slack for that, a lot of bullshit? When someone tells them like, yo, you guys are really believing this dude who fucking had sex with a fucking kid?
Yeah.
That's their prophet.
That's the prophet of Islam.
That's like their Jesus. That's like their Jesus.
That is weird as fuck.
People would apologize for Jesus doing anything wrong, you know? That's how they feel.
Did Jesus do any fucked up shit? I'm sure he did.
Oh, according to the Bible, he was, you know, best person on earth.
Yeah, you won't really find him fucking any 9-year-olds.
There aren't many accounts of him doing like messed up shit. It's mainly him doing miracles and stuff like that. You know the story.
Even then, though, it's like the Bible ain't no fucking moral police either, though, bro. That's my whole point. Like,
is the United States the moral police? Are they
I'm
the
saying
police
that
of the
it's
world?
like Ape is saying like, yo, the Quran or whatever the name of the book is. It's like it's.
I'm
horrible.
saying they're on a different league of fucked up shit.
I get it, and I agree, but. The Bible
I'm not saying that the Bible is perfect. No one's fine. That's a fucking straw man you're whooping out of your ass right now.
No. I'm just saying, like, it's not. Just in general, like, the Bible ain't no fucking. It's not an angel either.
No.
Okay, cool. Just got that out.
But the Bible, at least in terms of, like, the Christian Bible, is a book that actually reformed itself.
Where it doesn't have. Like,
in other words, if you look at the fucking Torah, right, like the first 5 books of the Bible that were supposedly written by Moses, then you have some fucked up laws and shit. Right.
Don't they talk about like sacrificing all type of crazy
There
shit?
were sacrifices
back in the days.
But there's a lot of fucked up shit in Judaism too. Like the Talmud.
That's what I'm saying.
It talks about a bunch of fucked up shit.
That's what I'm saying though.
Yeah, he's saying that like the Bible ain't no fucking holy. It has fucked up shit as well, but not on the level of
Judaism and Islam nation.
Islam is the one. But
the problem with the Talmud is that it's so fucking mystical, and that even you can find a million different rabbis that have different interpretations of it, but the vast majority of rabbis will still tell you that it's fucking immoral to lie, cheat, and steal to a Gentile. Right? whereas you don't get the same reciprocity.
Cocaine white, but it looked like Gentiles.
They even call people that aren't Jewish like a certain thing. What do they call them?
What
Kites?
No.
It starts with a G.
What is that? Isn't that like a Jewish slur? Kite?
No, it's actually just Gentile in Hebrew with what you're thinking of.
Don't they call them like
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about? Goyim,
Yeah,
Goyim.
that's just Gentile in Hebrew.
Okay.
So what does kite mean?
It's a slur.
Is this a Jewish slur? I've always heard that.
It's some bullshit.
It's a hardcore anime.
It's the hard N for Jewish people?
Sure.
Okay. No, I generally don't know. I've
Yeah,
always heard that.
it really-
I've heard that from New York a lot. Like a lot of New Yorkers say
Yeah.
that, right?
Probably pretty fucked up. But yeah.
No, for real, I don't know. I'm just asking. I've always heard that
on the
word.
other hand, that's not to say that there's not like a lot of moderate Muslims and that most of them wouldn't
Are
just be regular people that you could coexist with. The problem is that the desire and the political action that would be instituted if you have a Muslim majority would ultimately just lead to a fucked up government.
Can you blame them?
Yes.
You could.
Well, you can blame anybody for
But
their
can
actions.
you blame them with
Wouldn't you want someone to
with
be
the way they're living, with the way they're being presented, everything?
No,
with
I'm
the
saying
way-
what I'm saying by blame is you can blame everybody for their actions.
Sure.
Wouldn't you
Everybody's
want-
accountable for their own shit.
Wouldn't you want someone to have a positive moral compass if they are in government or running anything?
That is an issue, yeah.
I mean, yeah, as long as it's not hurting anybody and it's not affecting anybody in an extremely negative
You want the
way.
moral compass to be right.
jurisdiction? But what jurisdiction do they have?
We don't have. We're just stepping in because we're fucking good guys.
We're the world's police.
Pretty much.
But anyways, the entire issue is a religious issue.
I know.
The
That's
problem
why I call it a New Age crusade
the problem with religion is how many people fucking take it
to the next level.
literally. Like
That's
everything
true.
is a fucking literal interpretation. Like nobody takes very few people that study religion or at least believe in religion believe in it in a manner that's like mystical. Right? It's not like the fucking mystery schools and shit where everything is it's not like in masonry and shit
Sure.
like that.
It's not shrouded in secrecy.
No.
You're saying most? What'd you say? Repeat that? You said
most
people?
most believers
Most believers don't think like that about the Bible.
that
They're not thinking of it on that type
they're
of...
not thinking about it mystically. They're thinking about it as a
A
fucking
very literal.
yeah, it's a fucking history book and God and Jesus and shit like that. And they don't really they're not thinking. I mean, people don't understand even the root of their own fucking religions. They stop at their own holy book and don't look back in history to see where the fuck any of that shit came from.
People are not that interested in religion.
Yes, the fuck they aren't.
Definitely are.
I don't know.
I don't know what the fuck you're on.
I think the more...
Religion is so polarizing.
The more time passes, I feel like religion just keeps shrinking.
People are getting more secular, but
Yeah.
fucking people are really interested in religion.
And the
they're
ones who
find me something else that doesn't exist that people are willing to die for.
You say that the what I call it, the middle people are, it's decreasing, and it's either you're an extreme or you're just
The
not-
West is becoming more secular.
like okay.
That's
That's a fact for sure.
That's a
we know
fact.
That. We
yeah.
know that. We don't
Yeah.
even got to look that up.
We don't.
I feel like as time goes by in most societies, the belief in like religion and in something above yourself goes down as society progresses because they become more into like the physical aspects
Yeah.
of themselves and they leave the spirit like kind of behind, you know? Their moral compass definitely decreases as society grows just because think about it. It just
They find how hard it is to actually replace a fucking system that's been in place for thousands of years to decide how people should act. And it really fucks with people.
and it really was just a governing body, you know, back then. It was really to get people to act a certain way because we were savages. We were barbaric.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, if you look at the history of religion, you'll always find like this the universal systems. If you look at one of the biggest things in religion, it's the fact that it helps you overcome death.
To keep the peace.
Right.
Religion is a collective consciousness.
And yeah, but you're right. And the way that it overcomes death is by saying that.
Do you think religion was made to help society set itself in a certain way?
I think it was.
Yeah,
I
so we
think-
conduct
Do you think
ourselves in
it
a certain
also-
way.
Yeah, it was meant to turn barbarians into humans.
Humanize everything.
Societal infrastructure.
Right.
Pretty much.
Right. So.
But even in the West, you can see it decreasing. Like, especially in the West, you can see it decreasing.
Right. Well,
And like you said, there's either people that are really extreme and they're really into it, or there's people that like have fallen back from it and they really don't care about it at all.
you guys remember how I was telling you, before we started recording about how I was reading this book called The Denial of Death?
Yeah.
Sure. Dude, before we get out of this topic, we did have a question.
Damn, we did have a question.
Before we get out of the Israel and Palestine.
We had a random viewer.
A random viewer came in and asked us, how would a Stoic react in this situation regarding Israel versus Palestine? And then he also threw in just, hey, use cynic.
How would a cynic react?
Or how would any other philosophical...
Wouldn't a Stoic be like, I can't control that, so I don't worry about it?
Nigga would just be chiefing a blunt, like, life's great.
I can't control that, so...
He would definitely be taking on responsibility.
He'll just be doing his own thing. It's like, what can he really do? Like,
what's in his control is
that's
what he can do.
Like,
that's it. But that's true for everyone, though. It's
True.
just the Stoic makes it an object.
Are you a Stoic, Ape?
I try to be as Stoic as I can, at least philosophically, without applying any of the outdated metaphysical stuff.
Great answer, eh?
Yeah, but it's not as easy as it seems. It's sort of in many ways it's kind of like trying to be a person that tries to uphold the Christian morality when you're an atheist. Right?
Gotcha.
Interesting.
Which is a difficult problem to try to solve.
I see what you mean.
And it's not that clear, by the way, what the morality of religion like Christianity is, seeing as there's an Old and New Testament, and sometimes you can find a contradiction of one and the other. Anyways, it's complicated shit. But there's, how would a Stoic react in a situation like that? I mean, a Stoic would just fucking take on the responsibility that he has to fucking take on and deal with it.
How would a cynic react? He'll just be like...
A cynic would react in a way that's much more...
I mean, there is actually a funny story about how Diogenes was in... There was a war going on, and he was just rolling up a rock on a hill, and then they were like, yo, what are you doing? And he's just like... I forgot what was the answer, but he was like, yo, I'm just doing me, like, pretty much. Like, I'm trying to help as much as I can.
Yeah.
They was just rolling up a rock up a hill. Like, this is...
Yeah, I really did not see death as a problem.
What else what are some other... a Stoic, a cynic.
If it was somebody that was
a hedonist.
If it was an Epicurean.
Hedonist.
If it was an Epicurean, they would want to maximize pleasure.
So what would they do?
In the long run. So they'd be snitching on everybody, doing everything you got to do to fucking get the fuck out of that situation, right?
True.
But of course, you don't want to snitch on your friends because, your friends are like, you fucking need your friends, right?
What if you're a Stoic living in Palestine, in Gaza?
Yeah, the same rules apply to Stoicism. And
no matter what, if it's
no matter where you are, Stoicism...
Something has to be in your control in Gaza.
Yeah, your behavior.
Yeah, that's it. Technically, right?
Yeah. I mean,
you can't control what other people do.
You don't remember? I mean, there was this hilarious thing that Epictetus talks about, where there was this one guy that he was. They were telling him like, okay, you can't really show up in the Senate, and he's like, yeah, but I'm a senator, so I'm gonna show up. It's my job. He's like, okay, but if you show up, don't say anything. He's like, I have to talk like it's my job. I'm a senator, and he's like, but if you say something, I'm gonna put you to death. And he's like, well, it's your job to put me to death. It's my job to fucking show up intrepid and do what the fuck I gotta do, right? And another guy, it was like, listen, don't fuck around and find out, all right? That was basically the idea. It's like, if you fuck around and do this shit, like, I'm gonna have to fucking, you're gonna end up getting beheaded. And it's like, well, when the fuck did I tell you that I was immortal? You gotta do what you gotta do, my man, and I gotta do what I gotta do, right?
Everyone has their role.
I mean, it's
that's being a Stoic.
Me and Ape always talk about the whole Socrates thing and him.
Socrates was the ultimate. I mean, the Stoics loved Socrates
because he accepted his fate. He was like, you know what? It is what it is. I'm dying.
Yeah.
And I always ask Abe, like, yo, was that stupid?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's
I bet to him it wasn't stupid.
It was a movement.
I could tell you this: it's very difficult to make the case that Socrates was stupid.
No, but I'm saying how he acted in that situation.
Yeah.
Even though it was Stoic, would that be considered dumb? Would you act like that?
Would I have done the same thing in his shoes?
Yeah.
Those are big shoes to fill, my man.
Would you act like that? Would you accept the fate and just be like, yo, give me the poison, my G?
I probably wouldn't.
But it's hemlock. It's like, what can you do?
He stood up for what he believed in.
It was.
No, yeah, of course.
That was basically it. I mean,
which I respect. I'm not saying that.
That's another thing the Stoics have. It's like their idea is like, well,
die on this hill, bro.
The problem isn't that.
Yeah, for
the
sure.
problem isn't
literally.
Yeah.
The problem isn't the shit that's happening all around you. That's not why you're miserable. You're miserable because the way that you think about all this shit that's happening around you. So.
Yeah.
since that's their position, then their idea would be to like, make sense of the.
So even though I'm about to die, just be like, yo, like, I can't think about it in a negative way. Like, yo, shit's lit. I'm about to get fucking decapitated. Like,
I wouldn't say that shit is.
In other words,
I wouldn't say that shit is lit.
But you don't want to think about it in a negative way because
but
you got to control your thoughts in a certain way.
The problem would be that there's nothing to be gained by bitching and moaning and feeling bad when you're about to be decapitated because it's fucking useless.
Which I agree.
Might as well.
And so all you're doing is adding a
go out with a bang.
All you're doing is making a shitty situation shittier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only argument that Stoics have that's good. It's like, yes, I get it. Me bitching and moaning, it's not gonna fulfill this or make this moment any better.
And also looking for whatever opportunity is there for something, even in the worst situations. So like
that's good too. Sure.
You're about to die. Well, do I have to die like a bitch?
Make the best of it, bro.
So there's that.
Die like a hoe.
And it's easy to say and hard to do. But that doesn't have anything to do with whether or not it's true.
No, I know, bro. I know. That's why Socrates is respected because he's like he stood on his shit, bro. He's like, yo.
He stood on business.
He stood on business, bro.
He was a bad motherfucker.
Literally, bro. Like,
yeah,
and he didn't know anything, bro.
That's true. Yeah. That's true.
A man that doesn't know anything and was just had balls like that.
Yeah.
Respect.
He must have known something.
Power of dialogue.
According to no, he didn't. Well, that's what he thought,
He's
right?
widely respected. He must have known something.
Socrates was a dude who believed that we shouldn't write anything, right?
Well, he was. There were a lot of people back then because writing was a relatively new invention. So that
It was all about discussion.
Power of dialogue.
People thought about the issues with memory that might arise if everything was written down. It's like if you write everything down, you're not going to remember those 3-hour dialogues that you recite
horrible. Like,
on a regular basis.
Why didn't it help you?
They didn't think
I guess they didn't think so.
It was too long.
No, because they were about. Remember, before that, it was oral tradition. How things were passed down, and oral tradition could be.
I'm sure our memory worked different back then.
Motherfuckers never heard of the telephone game. Yeah. They never played that game back then. Like, yo, go say this rumor and then spread it to 20 people.
That's all it was back then. Shit, they couldn't even write it.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I'm sure spreading a narrative was way faster, way easier back then.
Hell yeah, bro. Easily, bro.
But I have been reading this.
You guys have a light?
I have been reading this book called The Denial of Death just because of the weirdness behind the situation of life. People don't fucking... And especially with all the death that's going on around us with this situation in Palestine, Israel,
I almost forgot it. Before I cut you off...
Yeah, go for it.
I gotta wear this, bro.
Oh, yeah. Come on.
Because you said I was erratic, and we have to talk about this on the pod.
Yeah, but now you're doing it for a reason. Now you're not just randomly showing up.
I mean, it was random. You didn't know I was gonna do it.
This is already just... I mean, you already made a joke of it. You even laughed, so...
Swag.
Swag.
Look at my cancel members appreciate it.
That's fucking hilarious. Anyways, yeah, V is wearing a mask right now.
Let them know what's happening right
Louis
now.
Vuitton mask.
Guys, last pod we had in a podcast, really quick tangent, where Ape said anybody who wears a mask is erratic. So here I am being erratic.
No, that's not what
You're
I
looking
said.
pretty
Don't
radical,
straw
G.
man me.
What? That's not what you
I
said?
didn't say anybody wearing a mask is
You
erratic.
said that. I have the...
That is not what I said.
You're a capster.
That is not what I
my
fucking said.
It started because Kanye went to an interview with Alex Jones and...
Wearing a mask.
Yeah, I said that was erratic.
No, you
and I said that if you walk outside, like if you go to a fucking mall dressed like that, people are gonna fucking think you're trying to loot the Louis Vuitton store.
Dude, during COVID, it was normal. People were wearing
They were
crazy
wearing a
ass masks.
face mask.
No, even the the ski masks, like they were like looking crazy.
The entire situation that I'm trying to cover here.
Yeah, but Abe clearly knows that Kanye's into fashion and that he's wearing a fashionable mask. So him wearing that...
I'm not trying to rehash this bullshit right now. There's a waste of my time.
Well, whatever. I just had to bring it up.
I think it was definitely a fashion statement. Just
all right, we're here, bro.
Anyways, yeah.
What do you got, bro? What's the book you talking about?
Damn, you sidetracked me like a motherfucker.
You're talking about some book about death.
Book is called The Denial of Death, right? If you look back at the history of human beliefs, look at Egypt, right? Look at the fucking pharaoh. That guy's entire thing was to get everybody to build a big ass monument for him so that when he died, everything was set right so that he could go
talk about being egotistical
into the fucking afterlife and survive death. The entire thing was everybody was a slave so that this asshole could survive death, right? And survive it and be up there, like one of the baddest
They
dudes.
left him hella shit in that pyramid. Like everything he needed. Like his riches, his cats, everything.
His fucking organs were placed in jars appropriately. His body was, everything was
set.
perfect. Yeah.
If he went to the afterlife, he was set.
And so that, even from that era, right? And then you go deeper into the more modern era, and you see the mystery religions, mystery cults, and all of them basically have a ritual of death and rebirth. So there were like the lesser mysteries and the greater mysteries, where back then there were people who everybody was initiated, unless you were an atheist, which back then was like being crazy.
Yeah, suicidal.
Because nobody could
Man,
explain anything about how the world works. So it's like, who the fuck else do you think did it? Of course it was God.
Yeah, those guys weren't crazy.
And so the way that it worked is basically everybody had a belief in like the gods and shit like that, and they saw it as a very literal thing. But the people in the inner mysteries, right, the elites and shit like that, they actually ascended to the deeper understanding of what the religion was actually about. And they would attend rituals of death and rebirth and shit like that. And basically it would alleviate the fear of death, because they would hold these crazy ass rituals where the person would think that they died. And then they would be reborn, right? Now, if you look at the Bible, obviously that rings a fucking bell, because Jesus, he fucking died. 3 days later, dude pulls up and he's like, I'm here, bitch, you know? And so,
I'm back.
So that's obviously a death and rebirth ritual. And then, of course, if you look at it like in Freudian terms, because this book is very fucking Freudian. I mean, it goes balls deep into the shit that Freud was on about death and just the denial of death in general that Freud had. I mean, he was terrified of death, this guy.
He denied it?
He didn't deny it, but he sort of inverted it. There's a lot of ways that people lie to themselves about death. And, you know, probably one of the points that you'll see in the book is that religion is a way of escaping the fear of death, right? That the entire thing that we have, all the projects that we have, all the cultures we create, all the fashion, all the masks that we wear, right? They're basically a little strategy that we use to fucking take away the terrifying fear of being this fucking ape that's gonna die.
I mean, sure.
And that there's nothing you can really fucking do about it, and that you have to distract yourself and repress that constant fear of death, because otherwise it would just make you
go crazy,
and,
eh?
Yeah, you would
fucking go insane.
You would fucking lose it.
Yeah, no shit.
Right.
That's why we were talking about that last pod. When I was young, I was fucking. When I learned about hell, I was terrified. Like,
right.
So imagine somebody who just thinks about that constantly and just like, yo.
For a natural process, a lot of people are very scared of death. For something that happens all day,
it is
all around us.
It is.
You're not afraid of it, Mr. Tough Guy?
I mean, I think it's going to happen either ways, whether I'm
Yeah,
afraid,
That wasn't the
whether I'm
question. I asked if
accepting.
you were afraid of it.
I don't think I'm afraid, because whether I'm afraid or accepting, it's going to happen.
I don't think most people are like fucking scared of death. At least not consciously.
Oh, they're scared of what happens
That's
after?
bullshit. I disagree with that.
I think a lot of people,
What do you disagree
especially if they're religious,
What you just said. Go ahead.
that they'll probably be scared of the fear that they have of death is something that they're not really aware of, because
What, hell?
No,
because they don't know what's gonna happen.
No, because it's
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No, I'm
The
saying
unknown.
that death is distant for people, and fear
Unless
sort
you're
of
like 80
goes
years old.
away until exactly right. Things start kicking in, little by little.
So do you feel like, well, humanity as a whole, we act pragmatically just so we can stop thinking about death?
I think it's a natural process that people
Just go through
basically
normally. Yeah.
go through. Yeah.
I think everyone accepts it in their own way.
And
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think in the subconsciously. I think
In their
that-
own way, they have to accept it.
And in Freud's theory, there's like this the Oedipal complex, where the when you're a kid, right, he would think that subconsciously you wanted to
Smash mom.
fuck mom, but the way that works is like that you wanted to kill your father,
pops,
but
yeah,
you're
yeah.
scared. You can't kill your dad because he's stronger than you,
He's the OG.
and
yeah,
he's
the old
and he's
pops.
piping your lady. So what the fuck, you know? And
Very
so
crazy concept.
right.
That's
So
Freud.
so the idea.
I mean, you know what a Freudian slip is.
No.
You
That's
gotta refresh my memory.
That's
I
what-
know I've heard of it and I've looked it up before, but I
Let's
can't
say like
remember right now.
this is where that shit comes from. The same guy. Like let's say like you're thinking about something a lot and you didn't mean to say it, like, but you end up saying it anyway. Like,
Say you're at work and you're talking to this chick that has huge fucking tits, and you're telling
And
her
you said by mistake,
Yeah,
you're
you-
like, your tits are huge.
you talk and then you blurt a word like tits out by accident. You're like, oh shit, because you were thinking about it the whole time. That's a Freudian
Yeah.
slip.
Okay,
Type shit.
okay.
There's better examples, but that's where that comes from.
I understand.
So the concept that I was discussing right now was
Yes. Son wants to fuck mom, but he's
Right.
not stronger than pops.
Right. So the idea that Freud had was that it was a fear of castration, because the way that it ends up is like, oh, your dad, he finds out you're trying to pipe mom, so
He's gonna chop your balls
he's bigger
off?
and stronger than you, so he's gonna castrate you,
What the
right?
fuck? God damn.
And so the guy from the denial of death, he's like, oh, that Freud, he had the right idea, but he was so fucking off. He's more like, well, here's what's really going on, right?
Let's hear this, guys.
So, I mean, what other way to become immortal than to become your own father, right? And what other way to become your own father than to, symbolically, of course,
Smash mom?
than to kill your own father and fuck mom? Then you would be your own father. Now,
Dude.
now look at the Holy Trinity.
Who wrote this again?
This is Ernest Becker.
Ernest
This is
Becker.
anthropology, yeah.
Gotcha.
So you go ahead and you take a look at the concept of the Holy Trinity, right? In Christianity, so there's like the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, right?
Tell me about this, yeah.
And of course, you take a look at someone like Jesus, and Jesus was, of course, born of a virgin, right? God doesn't have a father, right? God is his father.
He's the one.
He's immortal.
yeah.
He doesn't die,
Right.
right?
So Jesus, in that
He
sense,
completely encapsulates that story. No Christian, but like very few Christians, unless they're interested in mysticism and shit like that, would recognize that the esoteric meaning behind it.
I got you.
But that's pretty much what's going on. I mean, it's pretty fucking obvious. I mean, even universally, it's not like the story of Jesus is that original. Even
No?
there's a lot of other there's a lot of other
Jesus is out there?
a lot of people that born of a virgin,
Type shit, yeah.
died, came back,
Right.
3 days later, right? All that type of shit. Pretty common, right?
That's interesting.
The Garden of Eden in Christianity, right? Like in the book of Genesis, there's this idea of like, you can't eat of the fruit. God, like, he sets up this fucking perfect paradise all around.
He's talking about the Adam's apple shit with
right,
the two.
right. Now, you can't eat of the tree.
The chick eats it because she was...
But the problem is, if you eat of the tree, you will surely die.
Right.
Right. And then after they eat from the tree, they realize they're naked, and they feel ashamed. They cover themselves.
Right. They start to become aware.
And they get kicked out of the garden, right? So now they're going to die. And of course...
No, now they feel pain and they feel all this bad stuff now because of the reason she ate.
Because of that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, right.
And they got kicked out of the garden. And of course, you get kicked out of a garden. Obviously, you're ending up in a situation where not only do you now know that you're going to die, but it's actually going to happen. And so you become aware of death. And this is something that happens to every fucking kid, like you were just telling me a few minutes ago.
Right.
You figure out that death is going to fucking happen.
Eventually, yeah.
And then there's obviously the issue of being anal. That's something that fucking Freud always likes to talk about, is being anal.
He was an anal man.
That people are anal,
He liked butt stuff.
People that are, and just to put it like this, they're a pain in the ass about shit. Everything is fucking a big deal. They always fucking...
He was a missionary?
Everything has to be right, there's
Right.
fucking complaints about
Princess
shit.
behavior, Leo.
Yeah, right, and nothing can be vulgar. It's like, how dare you say that word,
Right.
That type of
Only
shit.
from the Queen.
Right, so that type of shit. And then when you have somebody like that, well then look at what happens. I mean, they're acting like a bitch all the fucking time.
But wait, you're saying that Freud was so anal all the time?
No, I'm not saying that Freud was so anal.
Okay.
Although you could make a case for that, definitely.
Then who are you saying was anal exactly?
I'm just describing what it means to be anal.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But this has to do with Freud's fucking sexual theory again, because he thought that you go through like the fucking you go through the oral stage where you're sucking out of a tit right after you're born, then you go through the fucking anal stage, and then you go through the sexual phase, which the libido that lasts for the rest of your life. That part.
You think Freud had mommy issues?
No, there's no fucking doubt about that. I mean, that's a fucking understatement.
Because Jesus Christ, dude, to me just these theories,
Holy
is
shit.
my man projecting something or
No doubt about it, my man.
Do you think his dad was around?
was his pops around? Was
Yeah.
Freud? Oh, he was.
Yeah, his pops
He
was around.
definitely had some
had some
hidden anger towards his
Yeah.
pops.
Man had beef with pops.
He had
for real.
repressed emotions.
He,
Definitely did.
I mean, to come up with a theory like that, bro, like that's
yeah, well, I mean,
He wanted
here-
to slay pops.
the crazier part is how people ran with it. So there's something going
Now
on.
let me ask you: do you think there's any truth in that?
That's
Abe?
just
The projections and shit like that.
The shit he was saying. About the fact that you want to slay pops.
Well, I think the sexual aspect of the theory is obviously completely overrated. It's not that there's nothing that goes on, and of course, it's a theory of shit that's subconscious. It's not a theory of shit that people are like consciously aware of.
Right.
There's a lot of shit that people are not aware of about themselves. It's not like if you can't be aware of everything about your fucking self, even your memories. If you were thinking about all your memories right fucking now, you'd be overwhelmed.
You'd have a panic attack.
You'd fucking lose it. You wouldn't be able to organize yourself.
You'd have to be able to decipher the cognitive information at such a higher level than what we currently can do, you know?
You'd have to be like
not
on
even
the limitless
your mind is
you'd
like,
have to be able to process information way faster than what we currently can.
Right. Your mind is picking moments when it wants to like relive these memories in your head. Like it's storing things, but then it leaves it like in a vault.
Right.
So people would say that it's a chemical process, though. Some people would say that that's just all a chemical process in your brain, and depending on chemicals in your brain, that's what you're thinking about.
Freud would agree.
Versus what? What's the argument of that then? That it's not what he just said.
That there's some type of spiritual or higher
there's something that
being
no, Freud was an atheist.
propelling you.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's some type of
what do you think
fate propelling you towards
how
something.
How are we holding all these memories and thoughts in our head? Like how
chemicals?
You're always fucking throwing them back.
Always.
You're not always using them.
Do you think we have like this little storage spot?
Yeah, psychology, like you work now, of course, psychology is like mental processes and behavior and shit. So but you have like working memory, right, which is the shit that you're using
currently right now,
the
this
shit
moment,
that's like
how we're
you're focusing on consciously right now.
Then there's the memory, for like the storage.
Right. There's
shit. All the moments of your life, all the traumatic moments.
Right, and then there's shit you couldn't even fucking try to access.
So you decided to just like delete.
So there's recent memory, and then there's short-term memory, long-term memory, all that bullshit, right?
Okay, I got you.
Anyways.
You don't think that there's just neurons transmitting different fucking electrical,
I mean,
processes in your mind?
Both can be true at the same time.
Well, yeah, they're not mutually exclusive, those things.
So
both can be true.
We're literally a walking fleshy computer, is what you guys are trying to say.
That's what I'm trying to say.
If you're a determinist, you would say. I mean, there's no way in science to sort of demonstrate something like free will, for example. You can't make a study for free will.
That's a great segue, my man, because I did watch some Sam Harris videos, and he doesn't believe in free will.
Right.
He believes that determinism. That's just the way we live.
Right.
And I just wrote down some shit. Let me see what you guys think. Pretty much to have free will, it requires that we are the conscious authors of our thoughts.
Right.
That's pretty much what I wrote in the midst of everything that Sam Harris was saying, and that pretty much that we don't know where these thoughts are stemming from. Therefore, there's
no, we know that they're, like you were saying right now, neurological processes going on, but we just don't understand the neurological processes.
Oh, okay, so that's the issue.
Right.
So therefore, because of that, he believes that's it. There's no free will.
There's for example what they like to call the hard problem of consciousness, right? Which is like how does experience, like why does it feel like something to be alive, and how does matter cause that to happen? Right? Okay. How does organized matter cause it to feel like something to be alive? And a lot of people have. There's some people that even claim that
sounds like an existential crisis.
Oh well, I mean it could be existential, yeah. Unless you're okay with the fact that you're basically not doing anything of your own accord, right?
You're just a puppet.
Yeah, I mean that if you
who's the puppeteer?
The idea that you know Diogenes just decided to beat off in front of random people, but he didn't have a choice in the matter, right?
Do you agree with Sam Harris? I mean, you said you agree with his take on free will.
I do, yeah.
So you're.
I think
so you're a determinist.
I think in terms of like, if you ask me in terms of like just regular, everyday life, it's impossible to live that way. Even Sam Harris will acknowledge.
What do you mean it's impossible to?
Nobody can live as though they don't have free will unless they have some fucking neurological problem, because that's ingrained into the way that we function. You're always gonna have the sensation that you're the one that's deciding to do something. Yeah.
Therefore, there's no way of.
Yeah, the only way to get rid of it, at least temporarily, would be through something that causes you to relinquish the sense of self, right? So get rid of the sense of self, of your ego, of you being an independent being. So it'd be like psychedelics or some shit like that. But then at that point, there's you erase the boundary of what it even means to be yourself, right?
So psychedelics is the fucking
Medita-
opening
some-
hole for.
Well, meditation as well, because that also reduces like the sense of
Yo, don't take a picture of my mask, bro.
the sense of self
Seeing this guy already.
is also reduced that way.
Why can't you take a picture?
I'm playing, bro. I'm playing, bro.
Right? What the fuck?
Leo's so butthurt, bro. I was playing, dog.
But
You can take a picture, Leo.
yeah, but wait, what are your thoughts on the free will situation?
I feel like it's such a stretch, though, bro.
Because again, I see the way I'm analyzing it as like, empirically, can I demonstrate anything else? But I could always go into like a state where I'm open. Because remember, you're talking to somebody who like he told you a week ago or 2 weeks ago, yeah, I'm an atheist, right?
Okay.
And then in the same hand, I'll fucking read about mysticism and esoteric shit
Sure.
and indulge those ideas and even consider them openly,
Sure.
right?
Okay.
So I know how to suspend, disbelief. And so the fact that I can fucking do that sort of allows me to consider things from more than just that perspective, right?
What about? Damn, I had a good one, and I'm trying to remember it off the top. What about the idea that?
You could always go beyond the empirical, by the way.
Yeah.
It's not-
Let me see, because I had one off the top of my head. I just can't remember. What about like us making choices based on like? Let me see. What's a good example, man?
Just to put it in scientific terms before you say anything, like there's the idea of nature, which is out of your control.
Out of your control.
And then there's the idea of nurture, which is your environment, which is also out of your control, right? And then you could try to tie that to how the fuck are you a stoic and you don't believe in free will, right?
Because Stoics act in accordance with
Well,
nature.
I don't think it makes a fucking difference.
That is a good one, though.
Because if it's not in my control, then what the fuck
What does
do
it
I
matter?
care?
Yeah, what does it matter? But it is a good question,
So that
though.
solves itself. I mean, that's like when they asked Christopher Hitchens, who was like this famous atheist author back then, they were like, do you believe in free will? And he was like, of course I do. I don't have a choice. Which makes no fucking sense.
Why did he say that?
Because it's fucking funny and he was drunk, what are you going to do?
That's based.
You got to have fun. This is life. You want to deny death until it comes for you,
So guys, let's switch gears right quick.
Yeah, go for it.
What happened?
No, let's just switch gears in the conversation.
Ukrainian hookers, you want?
I don't know how attracted I would be to a Ukrainian hooker.
Oh, there's some fucking Ukraine. Bro,
There's some good ones?
The shit they can do, bro.
Oh man,
Oh, Abe, you're speaking from
They're
experience
elastic?
now.
they're elastic and plastic.
Yeah, dude, you're gonna wear it or
No,
Man's is
nobody's gonna wear it?
going
Respect
through
the mask.
relapse of Ukrainian
No, but thank you. I appreciate the offer.
the sentiment.
All right, dude. You could take a picture if you want, Leo.
You want to switch gears?
I won't hurt. I won't be mean to you, bro.
Let's talk about something else.
All right.
Leo's heard that I
Yeah.
offended.
No one's hurt, dude.
Tangent.
What?
No.
Call
feel
it
like
the
you're-
forum.
His vibe changed when I told him he couldn't take a picture with the mask.
I'm acting the same. What?
Don't be like that, Leo.
I shouted out the V N APE podcast on the Call of Duty forum.
You did do that.
I did show with a girl yesterday that was pretty liberal.
Okay.
And it was funny because I told her about the podcast,
Yeah, what'd she say?
and like her first questions were like about the episode where we were talking about pig fucking,
Yeah.
and then she was just asking me like, "Yo, what's your thoughts on bestiality?" Like she genuinely thought that I was like for it and stuff. And
No,
then-
you were against it the entire
I know.
time.
I was like, "Yo, you didn't listen to the episode?" Like I was the one arguing against
Yeah.
it, and my boy was the one that's
She was concerned.
the shit. And then she asked me like my thoughts on Andrew Tate.
Oh, fuck me.
She didn't support the Tate.
Okay, in that sense, I would be with her probably.
And then she
okay.
asked me if I
You don't support the Tate either, Ape?
No, that guy's that's.
And then she
You
asked
think
me
he's too radical?
I think he's too.
Abe doesn't have good
no
arguments
I think
against
that,
Tate.
That dude has no moral compass.
Well, he's obviously interested
character.
in money.
There's no fucking moral compass. I
His
mean,
moral compass is
character.
There's a guy who teaches you how to fucking pimp.
His moral
declares that he
compass is
pimps,
money. That's his moral
Basically.
compass. But that doesn't mean that
Which
I
isn't
don't.
a moral compass. It's just like whatever direction the money's in, that's where I'm going.
But that
So
doesn't
isn't
mean
that- isn't
that I
that
don't
sense
fuck
of-
with Andrew Tate. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, I hate Andrew Tate. He's
Leo
a fucking
loves him, bro, in
misogynist.
other words.
Oh, he's a pimp.
Yo, forget that.
I think that he might have done some pimping. He's definitely.
Right. That's
There's a possibility, but
that's
who
not,
cares?
That's not commendable.
So
Yeah.
okay, so his moral compass is not money; it's power.
I think it's money and power.
That's always
A healthy mix of two.
It comes with it, Ron. It's a hand in hand. Money, power.
It's definitely a healthy mix of
You don't
both.
got money, you don't got power, bro.
In essence, in societal living and just structure of hierarchy, it's just power.
So guys, what if Andrew Tate is the psyop?
Yo, forget that. Let me finish. But all right, and then she started asking me about Tate. She asked me if I support him.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if I support him. I've heard some things he said that I might have agreed with, like every other human in this planet. But and then she asked me. Then she got on to the next one. She's like, "Yo, do you support Donald Trump?" And
I told Mike that he's a Donald Trump supporter and he disagrees.
I
Even though he's
disagree.
gonna
I'm
vote
not
for
a
him in
Donald Trump supporter.
2024.
Yeah. That
He
doesn't
doesn't
mean-
support him, but he's gonna vote for him.
that doesn't mean you support somebody.
What?
I don't agree with that at all.
What?
A Trump supporter is someone that's like.
So you're gonna vote for this man to be president of
Yes.
our government?
Yes.
And you don't support him?
And I don't support him.
That doesn't make sense, Mike, at all. He's gonna lead our people.
Well, what do you mean by support?
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like he's not being very.
Does that,
very
mean,
vague.
does that mean you?
If you vote for Donald Trump, do you not support him? You not?
Yeah, I'm asking what you mean by the word
Yeah.
support. What does that mean?
That you endorse his views.
That you endorse
I don't think
his
that's
views?
support.
Yeah.
That's not
Well,
supporting.
no, I think there's always been the question.
What? You want to be a donor? You want to
You can
donate to his
endor-
campaign?
You can endorse somebody's views without supporting them.
Tangent. I like how Larry David called Donald Trump a racist.
It was a SNL skit, Ron.
I still found it hilarious.
It was a skit, but
I just think that if you're gonna cast your vote for him, you're not against him.
I didn't say I was.
You want him to be president.
I want him to be
Yeah.
president. I didn't say I
You're,
support
you're
him.
for him.
Yeah, I'm for him. I want him to be president.
Yeah.
But how can how can you call yourself not a supporter then?
Well,
I'm not at every Trump show.
You don't have to be at every Trump show to be a supporter. There's many people that are gonna vote for him and that shout MAGA all day and don't go to one of his shows. They don't go to one of his campaign rallies.
It's someone that goes. It's someone that listens to Drake but never goes to any show, never goes to any single thing, never buys
Yes,
any
he's
merch.
a supporter.
Get the fuck out of here.
Of course
man.
he is.
He's a fan. He's a
He-
fan of his music.
Yeah,
not a
so you
supporter.
support Drake.
I mean, sure, because I like his music.
Yes.
I
Or
wouldn't
what,
cons-
streams don't count?
Yeah, but I wouldn't.
I think we're having an argument about semantics right now.
This all sounds like a whole bunch of fallacy.
What do you
talk.
think support is, Ape?
Whatever. The point is, I don't
Well,
care.
it depends on what the context is right now.
And Donald Trump.
To support something.
In this context that we're talking about right now.
Well, that's the
What
issue.
is
It is
support?
semantics too.
Well, that's the issue. It's a context based situation. So that's why I asked you at the beginning. What do you mean by support?
I think casting your vote for Donald Trump is support.
Well,
I
then
think
I'm
that's
a supporter, Leo. Of course.
Okay,
That's
that-
your definition of it.
Okay, I think what Leo
I think that's a main thing to vote for Donald Trump to be the president of our
How about this?
government. That is a main.
How about if you just don't like the other person that much?
The lesser of two evils.
So are you going for the Republican Party? Is what Leo is stemming from?
Not
Definitely.
really. Not really.
If it's-
Because I would vote for the Republicans too, but I don't
I'd
even
vote for a
consider myself a
Democrat.
Republican.
If he wasn't into CRT, if he wasn't into like any of those weird Marxist views, if he was just a chill guy, I liked his views.
I thought you loved critical race theory.
Of course I did, Leo. Yes, I'm screaming on the top of my lungs, yo, CRT. That's
White
everything.
fragility.
Yes, bro. That's everything I'm into.
What are your thoughts on the differences between Republicans and Democrats, Leo?
I think that
He's coming out with a new party called the Gay
think that
Party.
on various issues we can fundamentally agree on the same thing, and our country isn't as divided as they would like us to think. But on like little nitpicky things, like the things that we can have a argument about, that's where we differ. You feel me?
Like
but
what,
on like
though?
the main things,
Can
like
I
we
finish
do,
my-
we do.
Like what?
Before you guys go, let me just finish the thing I was talking to about the chick. She has another political thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And while after the Donald Trump shit, which I told her like, I guess if you want to call me a supporter, whatever, I am gonna vote for him. But then she got into the whole trans shit, and this is where shit started getting
Weird.
crazier. I asked her. Before anything, I asked her about genital mutilation, and just to see where she stands with that. And she doesn't believe that under 18, no one should be able to do that. Which I was like, all right, cool.
Okay,
we
fair.
stand on something. Then
A lot of people agree on the same things.
No.
I
But
don't
let me
think
let
we're
me
as
get to
divided
the,
as
let me
people
get to
paint
the
us.
let me get to the other part now. Now it's
I agree with
this is
you.
where we don't agree. Then she asked me a simple question like,
Fundamentals.
Fundamental.
if we have a kid, hypothetically, me and this chick, and our son was, let's say, 7 years old, and he said he wants to dress up in a dress,
Yeah.
would you allow him?
She
I'm asking
probably
you.
should- No, fuck no.
You would.
I would try to steer him in a masculine way. I would try to make him be like, yo, you don't need a dress.
I told her no.
This is not, not the path you want to take.
I told her no immediately, and then she was like, oh my god, you're transphobic.
I want to add something, though.
Good.
I think if a kid is genuinely gay or trans, they will show themselves to you as being gay or trans. You're not going to have to push them in any certain direction. The
Sure.
kid will definitely put on
That was
dresses.
her-
They'll definitely act a certain way, and that's their genetic makeup. That's what they're going to be in life.
That was
and
her
you don't
argument
have to
for the
push
most
them in
part.
any certain way. You don't have to say, oh, my kid is trans. Oh, no, no.
Right, right.
They're going to tell you. You're not going to tell them. They're
that
going to
was
tell
her
you.
argument for the most part, where she was saying that it's not a choice to be gay. So it's like if these
No shit.
Yeah, whatever. If these kids are gonna act like this at a very young age, then we should be supporting them. If you're not supporting what he, and then I was telling her him getting this idea is probably from schools because they're putting this shit all over
This
kids'
is another
school.
issue. It's like you don't understand what the fuck is going through a 7-year-old's mind because the 7-year-old doesn't fucking understand what's going through his goddamn mind.
Right.
So you just fucking allow him to
just do-
to deviate from regularity of his own accord.
You want to
And things that he's-
without any consideration for the fact that he's fucking 7, that you don't understand the goddamn workings of his mind, even if he's your own son. Which a lot of parents get it twisted, this idea that they fucking know. I know my son. Yeah, you know him to a fucking limited extent. People don't even know their fucking selves, okay?
True.
So
You know where I got my sense of awareness, where I was cognizant of it all? It was 8 years old. Anything before that?
that's when you got it all figured out, Ron. At 8.
Well, I mainly would say that because at 8 years old is where I had the discovery of the internet forums, just a whole bunch
That
of...
did change things.
That did.
Yeah.
I mean, that does open up a motherfucker. Like you
Yeah.
a fucking 9-year-old just opens up 4chan.
Or
Oh, fuck, I
Newgrounds,
hope not.
or anything like that.
That would
I feel like that's going to lead them in a certain way, though. It's going to,
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, well.
it's going to rewrite their mind and
Not rewrite, but
force
just
them into a
brainwash.
certain direction.
It'll just brainwash
Who
them to
knows
thinking.
what direction the fucking algorithm's gonna take you, man.
Exactly.
Not to say that I don't have any memories before 8 years old and I wasn't cognizant of what I was doing, but my sense of awareness became more transparent. It became more clear in the direction of who I really was.
That's when you became a cyborg. You connected to the machine.
Yo, forget all this
Matrix.
shit. Hey, I showed these motherfuckers Mouthy Buddha, and these niggas were having all jokes, talking about this is all
I think it's
cap,
conjecture.
All of this is bullshit.
I think it's conjecture.
Laughing at me.
What did they watch?
I showed them like,
You know what my
let
argument
me
was?
get to it.
But
You,
what-
you
what-
were
Oh
saying
my God,
that there's
here we go.
pedophiles in
This
the
guy
elite,
never
and I
let-
said there's pedophiles everywhere. In the normal
true.
class,
Wow.
in the elite, everyone. But the
Congratulations.
elites can hide it so well that you don't even know who the elite pedophile is. There are elite
You're
pedophiles in the
proving my
elite.
point, Leo.
But I'm trying to say that you don't know who it is. And these Mouthy Buddha
we
videos,
know- we
they don't
know-
know who it is either.
No, we actually
He
we,
knows.
It's conjecture.
He's literally showing you in the video.
we actually do know a couple of who they are. And a lot,
We have a good idea. We have an idea.
A good amount of them have
We have an
actually
idea.
gotten caught.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Although they didn't receive a punishment.
There's been people that have been charged, literally. These guys that are on the video and the Mouthy
Yeah.
Buddha videos have been charged. What's that dude that was cool with Epstein, the Prince, whatever? All these dudes.
Prince
Randy Andy.
Prince Andrew.
Randy Andy.
Okay, all right, but
That's what they know him as. I swear to God, Randy
I'm,
Andy.
I'm sure
all right,
they do.
but you know what was conjecture in the Mouthy Buddha videos?
You know who said that? The lawyer that defended Trump. What's his name? And that defended Epstein. You know
Cohen?
what?
Cohen?
No. I
don't even know.
Dershowitz. What's his name?
Alan Dershowitz.
Yeah, he's the
guy.
one who said that they called Prince Randy Andy.
That's fucking
All right,
I
but
mean, there's rumors that Alan Dershowitz was fucking
He
kids
was on
too.
Epstein Island.
conjecture. You know what was conjecture in that video? Tom Hanks. That shit was just pure full blown conjecture.
Oh, you know
I just
why?
hated how they showed Instagram posts and they're like, oh, look at this Instagram. He posted a picture and it had this thing and
And
I
it
put
was
it
a
into
glove
the
and-
Wait,
DuckDuckGo.
wait,
They think it's all
And it
cap,
was-
babe. They think it's
Wait,
everything
wait,
is cap,
Wait a
bro.
second. Let's get a specific claim out. What is
And
it?
I
He
can
put
show
a
you the
picture
claim. No,
and
no,
then
no.
he
I'll explain
researched
it.
what was in the
A picture
picture
of
on
what?
DuckDuckGo.
Let me explain it. I know what it
Okay,
is.
Mike,
There was
go ahead.
there was a picture on Instagram of Tom Hanks, and you know how he has like these. Every picture is
Oh,
like.
you mean the 6 letters?
The missing glove, and then on one of the pics it had SEC and then
Yeah.
some numbers,
Yeah.
and then the Mouthy Buddha just randomly searches the number
Right.
up, and then it turns out to be a fucking
Where
whole.
he ended up finding pornography and hidden links.
Yes, but no, nothing. All that's conjecture though.
DuckDuckGo.
And what was it? BH Kids. If you search-
DuckDuckGo is, first of all, isn't it part of the Onion Network? It's part of the dark web.
No,
Right?
it's not. No, it's
Huh?
not.
It's not the.
A lot of
It is
people
not
use
at
it to
all.
find dark websites.
No, it's
It's not the dark web.
That is not at
A
all.
lot of people use it to find websites
Well,
where you can
DuckDuckGo
go.
has been promoted on commercials, Leo.
I know,
it's
but
not
I'm
the
saying
dark web.
people
Download it in the App
use
Store.
it to find dark web websites,
The
like
fucked
where
up
you
part-
could buy drugs and you could buy shit like that.
Okay,
You could go on the dark web from the regular internet. That's not a good argument.
but why is DuckDuckGo considered somewhat?
It's not. Leo's just saying this.
Okay, but
I never heard of that in my life.
All right,
I've used it.
it acts like a VPN.
I never heard of that.
It acts like
I never heard of that.
it's so.
I mean, it acts as a VPN in the sense that like you can have anonymous browsing or some shit. The same way when you go incognito and beat
in
off.
private browsing.
It's not really
But it's
anonymous.
not a VPN.
It's not
though.
really
It's
anonymous.
It's a
None of that
website.
shit
It's
is.
a website that is
The
like
NSA
Google.
is
but
recording everything.
The searches on Google are obviously monitored. They pick what you're able to see. On DuckDuckGo, it's way less of that. Like you search up something and you're gonna get all type of results from all type of places. It's not just the Google shit.
That's basically the main.
My
the-
argument
the
was that
main
there's
point
no hard facts.
about what.
That's bullshit,
About the Mouthy
bro.
Buddha
Dog,
thing.
that's crazy.
There's
You
no
hear
hard
this?
facts.
What is the Mouthy Buddha thing? I don't understand.
The Tom Hanks thing, how he searched up that thing on
How he-
DuckDuckGo.
I didn't say it was facts. I just said it's really fucking really coincidental, dog.
You
Like,
mean that he ended up finding?
Finding-
You're
Yeah,
looking,
yeah.
you're looking at it through certain lens, which
and
makes you think that way.
Little boy lover is all cap. All those
What,
signs.
the pedophile symbol?
Yeah, the pedophile symbol from the two cops.
The
who,
ones that the
I never
FBI
said
released?
that was cap.
You didn't say that was cap?
No.
Oh, now you're not saying it's cap. Okay.
I never
There's
said the little boy lover shit was cap.
Okay, now it's not cap. Okay.
All right,
I didn't.
These
the
niggas were laughing at me the whole time,
I'm still
bro.
laughing at you.
The Tom Hanks thing was cap. That just looked like it was reaching.
It was literally a reach. It was literally a
Let
reach.
me just tell you guys something.
Reaching.
So it's reaching. It just so happens that this shit that he searches up ends up where he was at. Like it's just a coincidence.
Maybe
that it
his-
happened to be on Tom Hanks's thing.
His algorithm is fucked, yo.
Come on.
No,
Ron.
actually, you can find that shit on your own.
On any computer, bro. You can search it up right now.
Have you searched it up?
Yes.
What
So,
did you find?
That.
It's illegal, but yeah.
Yes, you can search it up.
You told me it was illegal last time and that you
It
could go to
is.
jail for it.
Yes, yes, you
can.
could.
Yeah.
So
I fucked
I
up.
asked you last time if you had searched it up yourself and you told me no.
Yeah, no, and I'm lying to you for that
No,
point.
I did, and
What?
you actually did report it to the FBI right after I found it.
There you go. Bomb. Now
Federal
what?
I
booty
don't
Now what,
expect-
Leo?
I don't know if it's still there.
How's the conjecture now? He searched it up.
I've never looked it up myself.
So just because
And I'm a firm believer in do your own research.
shut
Firm
the
believer.
fuck up, dog. This nigga.
You're gonna tell me shut the fuck up about do your own research?
Shut up, bruh. Yo, this man, I just
That's so
didn't.
close-minded.
I just didn't. No, you're close-minded. I didn't appreciate that you took Mouthy Buddha as some dude who was like just saying extreme propaganda.
He's reaching.
Darling, whatever.
Well,
say less.
we can
dog.
agree to disagree.
His only claim in that video, at least the Tom
And he's not
Hanks-
even claiming anything.
Yeah.
He's not even
his
claiming
only
anything.
claim in the Tom Hanks video is that
What
what he found there
so happens to be that.
was hidden pedophilia.
He didn't say that he
which
was
were
into
wide open
pedophilia.
when you looked them up on regular search engines. He found the same shit on Google, by the way,
So why the fuck is it connected?
I saw
to
the
Tom
BH
Hanks?
Kids shit.
This is on his page,
because he
Ron.
put it on Instagram.
It's on his picture.
Supposedly.
What do you mean? How else would it not be connected to him, Ron?
No,
if you
that's it. That
Ron,
was
if
his-
you put up a
that was
picture,
his
We're
Instagram
obviously
account.
standing on different sides here, so we could just agree to disagree.
Leo, shut up. This isn't
I
your
don't know what-
podcast.
I
I
don't
will
know-
say the rules. All
Okay,
right.
all right, well,
How
all right,
egotistical
all right.
of you.
Just because, all right, because deciphering code off of a sidewalk.
He didn't. Yo, this isn't the Da Vinci Code, bro. He literally
All he
put up
did
some
was
numbers that was on a
search it.
picture. Yeah.
He put
Sounded
6
like the Da
letters
Vinci
on a
Code.
search engine and child pornography.
Yo, you're making this seem like he did a rocket
That's it.
science thing, bro. Like this is so mind blowing to me, dog. That you really can't like see how.
Or maybe the algorithm is just fucked. It's fucked, bro.
I don't think you're gonna convince these guys.
And we're reaching. It's like the Mouthy Buddha just literally in terms of the Tom
But
Hanks.
what did he
it's a
claim
theory.
though?
It's
What did he claim? What did he claim? He didn't claim anything.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
You guys are saying-
I don't know what claim you're addressing.
They're just saying that they're saying that Mouthy Buddha is implying that they're doing all these things, but even
Shut the fuck up, Mike.
That it says that he's a pedophile.
yeah, that's it.
Because he found that.
Because he found that. It's
No,
a reach.
the claim is just what he found, that he searched that up and that he
And it happens to be that. That's
All right,
it.
all right. The closest thing that Tom Hanks has ever done, right? Because he's not an actor, or he doesn't seem like a person that would be into pedophilia. I hope God he's not.
I mean, that doesn't fucking.
That doesn't prove nothing, Ron.
No, no, no.
Anybody couldn't be.
I mean, that
Come on, Ron.
What? But what? The movie Big? Now
The movie.
what does
Look
that have to do with him? his personal. I don't understand.
That's what I'm trying to say. This is like Mouthy Buddha
my
is just making Tom
God,
Hanks
bro.
look like a person he isn't. Just by
What is he saying about him?
conjecture.
What's the conjecture?
Bro, they're just saying that, bro. They don't have no
I don't
proof.
understand. What conjecture are you addressing?
Leo,
right
what
now?
is the
exactly
conjecture?
my point.
Ron, 1 second.
Yeah.
Leo, what's the conjecture?
That
And be
basi-
specific on your point so I could actually argue you.
He's basically reaching and putting things out there that, you know, if you look through a certain lens, you can make anyone believe
Tell me
anything.
one claim he did that is reaching. Tell me one claim.
And
I
specifically
just
of
told
Tom
you.
Hanks.
Ron, give me a second.
I just told you that Tom Hanks posted this on Instagram, and you
that
look it up
wasn't
on
a claim. That
DuckDuckGo.
was real. That was real.
He did post
And
that on
then
Instagram.
He did post that.
And then you look it up on DuckDuckGo, and then it leads to pedophilia. That's a reach.
Why is that a reach?
Leo, he literally showed you in live time him doing it.
Is Tom Hanks?
He
out
never
there?
said that. He never said that. He never said that.
So then, what's your claim?
No, I said that it's fucking weird. That's the point of these videos.
That's the entire
Okay.
point. Yeah.
That it's
Sure,
eerie
it's
as
weird.
fuck. That
Sure,
all
it's
these
weird.
elite Hollywood guys are into
Sure,
this
it's
type
weird.
of shit.
Sure, it's weird. There's pedophiles
So what's the
everywhere.
conjecture,
There's
though?
pedophiles in the elite. There's pedophiles in normal
But don't
society.
get
there's
mad when
pedophiles
you don't have
everywhere.
to.
Yeah,
You can't prove your point though.
Shoot your
I
hand
was
on
mad.
pedophile.
You just ended your discussion though. That's it. That's all I had to say. So you didn't have an argument.
Yep, no argument.
All right.
Okay, whatever. I just thought it would be funny to bring up Mouthy Buddha because you guys were laughing about it.
All right, because in some aspects it is reaching.
You guys think this guy is like an extreme conspiracy theory guy? He's like he's on some Alex Jones shit, let's say.
All right, in some aspects, yeah, he was on some Alex Jones energy when trying to. I'm like, yo, what the fuck?
I
Does
actually
Tom,
fuck with Alex Jones.
like, what the fuck does Tom Hanks have to do with anything?
You fuck with Alex Jones, but Mouthy Buddha is reaching.
I don't fuck with everything Alex Jones said. Like that whole Sandy Hook shit was bullshit.
The Sandy Hook shit.
That's your where you draw the line? Out of everything Alex Jones has said?
I don't draw the line anywhere.
We're good.
Yeah, the Sandy Hook situation was a bit odd. There's a lot of things that were said about Sandy Hook though.
All right, what's
Um,
what opinion? What?
And
are-
I mean, just to be clear, they didn't watch like the whole thing, but
They watched the part of the.
they watched
Tom
the
Hanks.
big part of the Tom Hanks one.
They
They
watched
watched
like 3 videos.
yeah, like 2 or 3, like
Yeah.
big little clips of it. Like I didn't put them the whole thing, but
They watched the Pedogate series.
that was one of them. They thought, like they said, they were laughing at
3
me.
parts of the Pedogate.
Yeah, but like I said, I didn't show them the exact full thing. I showed them
Okay.
like big parts of Pizzagate.
Because those are like 2 hours long. Just
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's hard it's hard to like really believe something when you haven't seen or even like
I've heard about all of this before you showed it to me.
yeah, but the whole Tom Hanks thing. That's where I'm just like, nah, bro. Come
yeah,
on.
but I doubt you've ever heard about it like in a very detailed way, the way Mouthy Buddha does it. Because this guy is pretty.
I think he was pretty concise.
Yeah, bro, like-
and didn't really make much claims. He just pretty much showed what he found.
Out of every guy who's ever even talked about shit like this, I think Mouthy Buddha is probably the most concise and not on some conspiracy theory shit like the way you guys are claiming he is. Because he's just literally showing you evidence. Just links and shit. Just like things that are like, oh shit, this is weird.
Yeah, but a doorway on the internet can be a link that leads to another link that leads you to the dark web. That's,
Ron, if you
I
own
don't know what that has to do with
Ron,
anything.
if you own a pizza spot and there are you liking pictures of things that are like related to kids and
To
pedophilia
fucking killing kids.
and to killing
fucking-
kids, and then like the list goes on
By
and
the way,
on.
by
and
the
then
way-
your algorithm is created on that bullshit. It's perspective.
I don't think
the
you're
fuck are you
I don't
talking
think you're understanding, Ron, what we're saying.
I don't think you know what we're addressing right now.
Yeah. I'm saying like the head of the guy that owns the pizza spot is linked to like a lot of very
Probably a
mystic,
pedophile.
just weird things, weird eerie things, and he's connected to like certain high celebrities as
Well,
well.
he's endorsed and supported
By-
even financially, and is actually one of the greatest lobbyists and most connected to politicians.
All right, so why don't we take one of the most recent?
I genuinely think if you guys actually watch the vid, would actually appreciate it though.
Recent examples. Which designer brand went under fire for promoting what? Was it Balenciaga?
Yeah, it was.
It probably was.
What about
It was
the-
Balenciaga.
It was. What about
They
that?
had
No,
a kid
it-
in bondage.
No, go.
Yeah. What
I remember that. Yeah.
What about that example? Didn't that brand lose like tons of money? What
Yeah.
was the whole ordeal Why did they even do it in the first place?
Well, the fashion industry is pretty
Weird on that
corrupt to
type of
begin
time.
with.
There's a lady that I forgot her name, that she does like spirit cooking. And
Marina Abramovic.
yeah, and she does like these weird, very like weird themed parties,
Yeah.
themed cakes.
Her conception of art, and of course, you can always hide behind art by saying that anything
Is art, and it's just
yeah.
art. It's nothing evil.
Yeah.
She
When it has to do with like smearing shit on what is it called, a mock image of a child and piss and
Art, bro.
cum and shit like that. And it's a weird sort of art.
Have you guys ever signed an NDA for?
I've never signed an NDA.
You've never signed an NDA.
No.
Leo, have you ever signed an NDA? Mikey.
I would if I had to sign an NDA, I probably wouldn't be part of it.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your whole thing with the elites, Leo? I feel like you're a part of them now, dog.
Definitely. I have so
Is
much
this
money
your-
and power.
Is this your plan of the pod? Like you're trying to dethrone us, dog?
I think I'm a
I just said that the elites have pedophiles in them, just like normal society does. Because the elites,
Well, that's true.
the elites aren't like superhuman people. They're people just like us. They have issues. They have depression. They,
They have
have
a lot
everything.
more power.
Huh?
They have a lot more power.
Yeah, so they can exercise
they're
their
not the same
wants
as us.
more.
And they can connect with each other much more easily.
Yeah, of course.
Across
and they can hide their crimes a lot easier than
Yeah.
us. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So technically,
So
So if there
everything
were a
is-
pedophile ring,
The elites would
So
probably
Mouthy
be part of
Buddha
it.
actually isn't that crazy at all, then, because
But we've agreed on this before. I've said
So
that
why
the
did you
elites aren't
laugh about it
pedophiles.
and saying it was conjecture?
Because the way he presented it and the people that he picked out to be pedophiles. Because I don't think he knows who's the pedophiles.
Wait,
Just like
like-
we don't know who the
like-
pedophiles
like-
are. There definitely are pedophiles. We just don't know who they are.
But you're
Like-
saying that he's good.
no, I'm just trying to figure out like what the people, which people you're talking about.
Yeah, then who?
Like the people he was talking about, like Tom Hanks and just the famous actors. Like there's definitely pedophiles in the elite and especially in actors, but we don't know who they are. I don't know who they are.
But
And,
you only-
and
you
I'm not
only
gonna
said
take this
Tom Hanks.
mouthy Buddha video as like the end all to like
As
the
factual.
elite pedophile ring. You feel
Or
me?
what about when I showed you about the guys that owned the? When it was the episode about, I think it was called Pedogate, and it was about the guy who owned the pizza spot.
Hey, he's probably a pedophile.
And the guy that there's other people that own stores with the little boy lover. They had it on their front of their store as a logo, and the Pope wearing it.
They could be showing other people that they're into little boys. It could be.
That the Pope is showing it.
It could be.
You don't think that's like weird at all?
I said it could be.
But I'm asking you though.
Of course it's strange.
So yeah, like of
course
course
it's
anything
strange.
could be, Leo. Anything's possible.
Okay.
But I'm
Okay,
not
then
saying
you-
I don't have a definitive answer. I can't tell you that for sure they're pedophiles. I'm saying they could be. It's possible. I'm not
Fuck,
ruling
Leo,
it
we're on a
out.
podcast for the sake. Let's argue about something. Then like if like you don't want to just say you're like okay sure.
But I'm not ruling it out.
I think
Okay.
there's different degrees of what people can.
Dad, just threw out
Claim.
the whole cherry. What the fuck?
There's different degrees of what people can claim something as evidence, right? On the one hand, there's like speculation.
Right.
On the other hand, there's a video of somebody fucking a kid.
I never said this was proof anyway.
Sure, of course.
I'm just saying that it's
That's cold hard facts. That's
Yeah.
cold
But
hard
even,
facts.
I mean, how many pedophiles that are in prison though is because they got a fucking video of them fucking a kid. I mean,
Or they got a bunch of shit on their laptop.
Look at that Boondocks episode with
What the fuck?
with who?
what's this? What's
The
this?
guy that's afraid of going to jail.
Nah, not the guy that's what was it? Usher and the 16-year-old and the was it Usher?
with Usher,
Was it Usher?
I'm not sure which episode.
he ended up fucking the lawyer's wife and shit.
No, not the lawyer's. He ended up pissing on a girl.
That was R. Kelly. That was R. Kelly.
Why the fuck did I think
This
it was
nigga said
Usher?
And that happened. That's not even a Boondocks
That's
episode.
real.
That
That's
happened.
actually real.
He did
but-
film that shit, you know.
And now he's in jail.
Yeah.
He's facing
No, he
even more.
beat that. He beat that charge though.
But he's still in jail.
He's now in charge for. I mean, now in jail for.
And
new
he's
charges,
facing
yeah.
other.
Bill Cosby's out, you know.
Yeah, dog. True.
Bill Cosby's out.
He might do
He's,
stand up soon.
he's facing a bunch of civil suits though.
Yeah.
Of course, he's gonna lose them.
He's
for
gonna
sure.
spend the rest of his life trying to defend his name.
Would you see him? Would you see his?
Apologies to Usher that I confused you with R. Kelly.
Weinstein is
Usher
out.
just has herpes.
Would you go check him out in
And what?
Bill Cosby's new stand up?
I never was into Bill Cosby, so I wouldn't go check him out because I was never into his comedy.
Yeah.
Pedophile or not, I just didn't think he was funny.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Ghislaine Maxwell is interesting though.
She's also serving time now. What they
She
hit her
is.
with? She's serving Jeffrey Epstein's time.
Yeah, but she's not serving it for.
She has a weird family too. Like her dad that killed himself over the whole.
No, he didn't.
They say that
There's
he.
no evidence that he killed himself.
Well, there's no evidence that he didn't kill himself.
I mean, there's no evidence that Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself. You know.
But that's like, I was telling Mike this. If you want like some proof that there's elites covering up for other elites and they're willing to do anything to cover up their crimes, the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing, killing himself in a federal building, that would be the most proof that you could offer that the elites are fucking covering up for the other elites. That's like the most proof that you could offer.
And it's pretty out there, and it's common knowledge.
Yeah.
I mean, in your logic, it would be conjecture too, though.
I mean, what about the movie The Sound of
is-
Freedom? That's not conjecture, and it was released to the public.
What was it?
The Sound of Freedom? Or the
I heard there was a guy.
Was that a fiction or was that actually happened?
I think it was based on actual events that happened. If I'm
Based on
correct,
actual-
I'm not sure though. I don't know.
Tim Ballard, is that his name?
I haven't seen it. That's interesting.
So nobody here has seen. I myself haven't seen this movie.
Yo,
but-
fuck all that. Ape, what are your thoughts on Sexy Red? Sexy Red,
Who's that?
rap artist.
Never heard of him. Her.
She's like
She. It. They.
She's like she has
Never heard of
her style is like really ratchet.
Really trashy.
You ever heard of Pound Town? You ever been to Pound Town?
I think that's pretty self-descriptive.
Just asking.
Yeah.
That's the name of the track.
Pound Town.
Would you go to a Sexy Red show if I bought you tickets?
Damn, so you never really heard of it?
I think I would probably not go.
What if I was like, Ape, I want to go to this show, would you go with me? I'll
Ape's
buy you
not
your
doing
ticket.
that,
I would definitely save you the money, you know? 'Cause-
But what if I was like, dude, just come check it out so you can experience something different?
Yeah, I would.
You
I
wouldn't
would,
go with me?
I would definitely watch paint dry and experience that. I've never seen that before. You know, not to the point where it's like, you know, the sun goes up and down, but if you stop and look at it at any moment, it's like a clock. You don't notice it, right? So in order to figure out that mystery, I might have to stare at the sun for 8 hours until it goes down or some shit.
So you wouldn't be interested in
that
lyrics?
would probably be a unique experience as opposed to, you know, going to that, what is it, the
A Sexy Red show.
Sexy Red show.
So lyrics such as Coochie Pink, My Booty Hole Brown.
This man's uncultured, man. He doesn't know this.
That's
Doesn't it-
pushing the culture forward.
I think
Strong, independent, feminine black woman.
it's very-
More power to her.
It's
Yeah, bro.
liberating in my opinion. I mean,
Hey,
frankly, I mean,
all right.
yeah. I feel like I'm experiencing a whole new side of myself just hearing these ideas, you know, just
Damn, where's my phone at?
opening up horizons and
Did I drop my phone?
It's on the seat.
just allowing me to be my true self. And any of you non-binary or
I'm gender fluid.
I know that.
You're gender fluid?
V,
Yeah, in the
V
middle of sex,
announced-
I could become a woman.
nice?
V, how's your
Must be
status
great.
on still being not a non-binary?
Currently straight at the moment.
Straight?
Yeah.
At the
Straight
moment.
non-binary?
Just straight. No,
But he
no
dabbles.
nothing at all.
He dabbles in homosexuality a lot, though.
I don't know about all that. As a
He's a
non-
dabbler.
There's only one way to figure out if you don't like dick, right?
Technically,
He figured it out all right.
I didn't.
I identify as an NPC.
Well, I mean,
That's hilarious.
who's to say,
For real.
right?
Meth
the
and
end of the
Adderall
day-
are pretty much the same drug.
Meth and Adderall, I mean, yeah, they're in the same class.
Methamphetamine, amphetamine. Pretty
Yeah.
close.
Watching a
Yeah,
lot
pretty
of
close.
Dr. Carl Hart.
Pretty
you know,
close,
that's
yeah.
the homie. Shout out to him. V N APE shouts out Carl Hart.
Amphetamine salts are a interesting compound, you know?
Yeah.
You can take them in small doses for decades, and it's a lot easier than taking meth, you know? 'Cause-
A lot more easier on the brain.
I actually have something
Yeah.
funny that, according to certain blog posts, J.K. Rowling said she'll happily serve prison time for her transphobic views.
That's standing on business.
I don't know if she said, did she say that for real?
I
She
just,
did.
I just
She
said
did. She
no,
posted
no,
it on
no,
Twitter.
did?
She
Oh,
said
she
it on
did?
Twitter. Yeah, she said it on Twitter.
Okay,
Oh,
that's why I said
damn.
according to certain blog
No,
posts.
she said it. I saw
Well-
it. I saw a tweet.
Let me just say right now, that is the most funniest, wildest shit to say,
She's
bro.
standing on business.
Like, dog, I get that you're like,
Ape, are there two genders?
Yes.
Are there more than two genders?
I wouldn't
No,
go to
I don't know, I
prison
just
for my
got here.
transphobic views. Let's
That's
just say that.
that's that's some of the fundamental ideas that I was talking about.
Yeah.
I feel like most people will believe that there are two genders.
Oh, fuck, you'd be surprised.
except for that, the blue-haired people.
Yeah. Well, most people don't give a fuck.
Nah, I don't. I think
the-
I think there's more depth to that though. Let's
There's
to just say that it's just like. I'm sure there's studies on it. Is all the studies according to gender have to do with like like gender studies or anything like that? That is like very
No,
woke.
no.
They
Gender,
are actually.
gender studies is something in academia that's pretending to be a social science.
I'm trying to ask, like, is there some actual like studies about like gender and like the social
Of course.
aspect of it, where
Yes.
it's not just some woke,
Yes.
redundant
Yeah.
bullshit?
People say gender is a construct.
Yeah, they do say that.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
No.
I
mean,
believe
we
gender
know
is
we
a
don't.
sign.
I think
Gender is a sign at birth.
First of all, I think the entire idea of a social construct is a fucking stupid idea, right? Because the idea that something is constructed socially and it's not
Everything is constructed
and it's
socially.
not biological in some sense, as though it's social rather than biological, makes no fucking sense because social beings are all biological beings, right? So it really does make no fucking sense to declare that something is just a social construct.
I think everything is a social construct.
But it's a biological construct to begin with. And the idea of a construct, because people don't know what the fucking construct is. A construct is something in science that you can't measure directly, so you measure it indirectly through a combination of variables that align together. Like a personality test, when they ask you a shitload of fucking questions to see if you're extroverted or introverted, they ask you those fucking questions, and that is a construct. That's serious.
Right.
Those questions, they align to a certain degree where they're able to predict consistently
Right. Based on what you answer,
where it is that you fall
where you
between
fall.
introversion and
Right, right.
extroversion.
So where does an ambivert fall? Because it classifies as within both of extroverted and introverted.
Well, there's no such thing as somebody that's a fucking pure introvert or extrovert. Everyone's somewhere in between. There's just some people more on the extremes.
So what would you classify
Nobody's 100, you know?
an ambivert to be?
I would classify that as everybody.
Let me get the later.
And that's about it. Yeah, the whole social construct shit, I mean,
It's a biological construct.
well, the idea is that it's a construct. I mean, social, yeah, the social, which always stems from the biological and fucking that. I mean, it occurs because of biology, but the idea that there's more than one gender, even as a construct, right, as a scientific construct, is fucking non-existent in my book. Not on anything that's reliable. It's sort of like when people started doing like the implicit association test to see whether or not somebody's subconsciously racist, right? Yeah, those tests are fucking hilarious. First of all, because the people that made them recognize they can't fucking prove anything, and second of all, because you can take them a million fucking times and you still end up getting a million different fucking results. I've taken that shit. You could go to the Harvard website for it and take it right now.
What, the Myers-Briggs test?
If you're a racist,
No.
Oh, the racist test? There's a racist test.
Yeah,
let's
Oh,
take
look
it
at that.
live.
sure, go for it. It takes a while and you actually have to focus to take it.
Oh, no, never mind. How long we think it'll
You
take?
can't be having a conversation while you take it. It's
Oh,
no,
never
it's
mind, alright.
it's when I say it takes a while, I mean it's gonna take a few minutes, like fucking 5 to 10.
What, this thing has like 100 questions?
No, it's not questions. I mean, it's not formal questions. It's questions where they show you images of somebody who's white next to somebody who's black, and then they ask you push L for this and push R for that or some shit. And then
so
depending
dumb.
on how fast you click for the black or the white person, they decide, well, if you took more time to click to recognize the black person, it must be you're a racist or some shit, right?
No way.
And it's basically based on the average of what duration of time it takes you to recognize and how many mistakes you make.
This sounds very based. Like, am I gay test? That
Yeah.
you see, yeah. It's a very based thing.
Yeah, it seems dumb.
I mean, that reminds me of Freud again. I mean, when he was like, there would be psychiatrists back then trying to convince people, like, bro, you're like subconsciously homosexual is the problem here. once you realize,
That's the real problem.
once you realize
That's
that deep
base.
inside what you want is some dick, then you're gonna be healthy again, But until you suck my dick, you won't really,
You won't know.
Man, gay psychiatrists must have been fucking
Living.
slinging dick back then.
They were living it
God
up.
damn. Woo. That must have been great for them. I mean, fuck. And you know how many of these fucking people might have been talked into sucking a dick? I mean, Jesus fucking Christ, bro.
So what else can we argue about?
About whether or not it's immoral for a shrink to convince his patient to suck a dick. There was this
course it's
actual,
immoral.
there was an actual, I hear it's legal.
What?
It's making a comeback.
Where?
I don't know, I made it up. But still.
We make shit up here,
No, there was a psychiatrist back then who would say that if the patient wanted to commit suicide or something, he was like genuine about it, he'd be like, yeah, I'll help him.
Aren't they euthanizing people in Canada?
Oh yeah, they've been doing that for a while.
We talked about that.
Here's a good segue. Where do we classify the people who have quote unquote experienced divine experiences to where they are being
Finish the question, bro.
Yeah, that's why individuals experience divine experiences. Now they're in
Now they're religious.
not the religious.
They're spiritual. They have some conviction about the afterlife.
They're now being questioned about what happened, and these people that are questioning this individual don't believe this individual because they weren't there to experience that experience.
I mean, there's one.
You know what's like a philosophical like question that I could answer that with?
Yes.
I'll take a piss. I'll be right back.
We'll take a break. Fuck it.
Little break.
We'll take a break. Hurry up, little bruh. And we're back, guys. Abe had to take a little Glock dookie.
There we go. So, divine question.
Yeah, so Ron had the divine question. Now, I'm going to answer it with a question. Hopefully, it's the same.
Yes.
It was a philosophical question I had in mind. It was like, if a tree falls and there's no one around there to see it.
Well, we've heard
it
this
still
one
makes a
before.
sound.
Yeah, it still makes a sound even though no.
You're not so important that the tree needs to make a sound for you. The tree's gonna make a sound anyways.
Answered that question. The divine question now is: have any of you experienced aliens? Yes, for me.
I think I've seen UFO sighting, but I can't say for sure. And I do believe in aliens. I do believe they're out there.
But wait, you guys didn't even answer the philosophical question. Like,
I did answer it.
About the tree?
Oh, what was
You
your?
said it makes a sound.
Oh, so it still makes a sound.
Me and Leo agrees. Yeah.
What do you think, Abe?
I think there's a difference between sound and vibration.
That
does
is
it make
something
a
that they
sound?
do talk about. The people who do argue that
Sound is a sense, a human sense.
There you
the
go.
way that we transform environmental information.
That's
into
the
something
argument.
that we understand.
That's
But it still
interesting.
makes the wave.
Yeah,
interesting.
but it's not technically.
So just because there's no one around to hear it, it's not a sound.
No,
It's not a sound, and that sound is something that we generate in order to
Process vibrations.
process.
so it doesn't happen
It
without
still
us.
makes the vibration, though. I mean, that's
The wavelength is still there.
When we're there,
That's basically how I
Metaphysical
interpreted what you said, because
Domino effect.
Because I don't think what you're saying at all is that, you know, if there's nobody there and a fucking tree falls, does someone still hear it?
Does it create?
Obviously, you don't think somebody still hears it because nobody's
no
still
one's
there.
there.
Does it
but
create-
the vibrations are still there.
Does it create a
The same
frequency
thing
wave,
happens
though? Yes,
as
it
if you
does.
were there. If you're there or not, the same thing is going to
Right,
happen
that
when the
event-
tree falls.
The event takes place.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah, yeah. I
So-
think the argument is about the whole sound thing and then the human being there
Still
and like
happens.
whatever. But yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, how we interpret vibrations.
Yeah.
Sure, I can agree with that.
And then there's the idea of the observer, of object and subject.
damn, I didn't know you knew about this, bro. I would have done
But-
more. Cause that is interesting. I've always
Yeah.
that is some shit that people.
Continue, Abe. What were you saying? The observer. What were you saying?
That's some older philosophical shit.
Can you explain it to me? Because I'm not aware.
So the inevitable. Explaining the inevitable.
The idea would be like there's a object and a subject, right? So you're a subject, right? And then there's an object, right? Is the object really there, or does it really act the way that you think it acts? Or how can you, it has to do with the idea of people questioning their own senses, for example, right? Because if you look at all of our different senses, at least the 5 classic ones that everybody mentions, what they really have to do with is just the way that we organize information in a sensory manner, right? The way that our bodies process information and then transform that information into something that we see as valuable. But what the actual external world looks like, besides the senses, first of all, the idea that it looks like something that already...
Are you saying that senses are subjective to everybody?
That they're subjective to everybody?
Yeah.
Well, if by that you mean that somebody else's green is not the same as my green,
Yes.
then that's not something that I can know, because there's...
So we went on an extreme tangent, guys.
Remember
Do you
back
guys
before
believe
film
in
or pictures,
aliens?
people used to draw people off from memory. You feel me? Or
Yeah.
they would do portraits, and
Yeah.
everyone would agree, "Oh, this portrait looks like them."
This
Aliens,
portrait looks
yes?
like them,
Yeah.
yeah, but it could be that like we see the same thing, right? And we all agree that it's the same thing,
But we
it
have
looks
different opinions
different
on
to
it.
everyone. and there would still be no.
Is that why some people think the Mona Lisa is smiling and some people think it's like frowning?
Well,
that might just
Mandela effect there.
That might just be a different perceptual.
That's not a Mandela effect.
Oh, what? That the Mona Lisa was not smiling, and then people believe that there's renditions.
Yeah, there's
out
probably
there?
been a Mandela effect.
That
Oh
might,
yeah, there has been.
yeah. Well, that might just have to do with the
Ron
way
is
that-
like obsessed with
that
the
they're
Mandela
censoring.
effect.
The Mandela effect. Have I ever gone into pure explanation?
We know
Yes.
what it is, bro.
Yes,
we don't
you
have
have.
to.
What Mandela effects have I experienced? The JFK one, where the Connollys out of nowhere are just thrown in there. Who the heck are they? I had to do my research on 2 additional people.
I think
that were in my history.
I think the craziest part about the JFK is
objectively
the magic
never
bullet.
existed.
the magic bullet is crazy in JFK. That
What'd you
one
say,
bullet
Ron?
pierced JFK and it pierced the guy next
Who's
to
he
him in the
talking about?
chest.
Yeah.
That shit is
Connolly's?
crazy.
Oh my
Who's
God.
the Connollys?
Who's they're presidential friends? Political friends of the.
There were
Kennedys.
6 people in the JFK car.
But what, you're saying that like they...
people think it's,
Objectively,
like-
my Mandela effect was
Hold on,
that
Leo.
there were only 4 people in the car.
Exactly.
Oh,
People
okay,
think there was
that's what
4
you're
people,
saying.
but there was really 6.
And not only me, my mother, my father,
But if you
Yeah,
look at
but-
the picture,
everybody else thought that there were only 4 people in the car.
I think
Now,
that's just failing memory.
Yeah, bro.
that to me is crazy.
It just,
Yeah.
it
That
just
to me is absurd.
memory will play tricks on you.
All right, so here's another good one.
And then just one person like posting it up like, oh my God,
That
I thought
makes,
that...
it influences other people to
Influences other
believe the
people
same
to
What
thing.
believe
about
that.
the Mandela effect on the Statue of Liberty? What was our first terrorist attack in the United States? If anybody can answer
I
that.
have no idea.
Nobody
I don't know,
knows
Ron.
that, right? You want to know what the first terrorist attack on the U.S. was? It was on the Statue of Liberty in 1912.
Well, a lot of people don't know that.
Well, how come?
So
bro?
it wouldn't even be a Mandela effect for
I
them.
mean, because it's a really long time ago.
Pardon me. What, bro? History has been.
I mean, Ron is on one.
It has been retold, and my education now has suddenly changed. You're telling me that this has always been America's history. How the first terrorist attack in the United States of America was the Statue of Liberty.
People didn't even pay attention to terrorist attacks until 9/11.
Tell me how many people.
The World Trade Center was bombed domestically before the terrorists destroyed it, and
Yeah.
people didn't give a fuck.
That was it. That was
Yeah,
it.
the,
Tell
the
me how
Mandela effect
many-
is kind of crappy, Ron. In the sense where it's like, it's just... to me, it just seems like failed memory
For a
for
man that talks about conjecture, you're
To entertain the speculation of the Mandela effect, why is it so popular? Because so many people around the world witnessed Nelson Mandela's funeral being broadcasted globally around the world.
Actually,
Okay,
the Nelson
I'm
Mandela
sure.
one is that he was in jail. That's the Nelson Mandela, the Nelson Mandela
No, I
effect.
think it's what Ron is saying.
It's where
What I've read
Blase-
about, it's been him in jail.
The blase, the entertaining, what makes the Mandela effect so popular is that many people recall him dying in the 1980s.
You know who was a good stoic is Nelson Mandela, actually.
Was he?
Yeah.
He died in 2013.
He read a whole lot of Marcus Aurelius's meditations when he was in prison. And 27 years is quite a long time to be in fucking prison. Especially
How long?
27 years.
Well, he was in prison for what?
Yeah.
For his political ideas?
He was a
He was a
political
political prisoner,
Oh,
right?
shit.
Yeah.
Oh, he was a great figure for the emancipation.
That's
of
when
many African
apartheid
people.
was really kicking, though.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
The
speaking about
apartheid
Mandela.
was in
Yeah.
full blown effect when.
Yeah, that's when, I mean, there's this one guy, fucking hate his stand-up and shit, but he was,
Who?
Trevor Noah.
Oh yeah, he's not that funny.
Dude, I know that name. Who is that again?
He's a comedian.
Trevor Noah.
Yeah, he's this fucking guy who does,
Is he
not
like
that-
a young kid? Young guy?
he's a young comedian.
He's not that funny.
Nah, I think you guys are hating on Trevor Noah. Let me
He's
see.
fucking garbage.
Yeah,
bro.
he's
Like,
not that funny.
Especially when he started getting into the political shit, like when he got into the Daily Show, was it?
Oh, no. I hate this guy. Never mind. He fucking saw a picture. No. I hate that guy. I know exactly who you guys are talking about now.
Oh, Jesus.
Yo, he's cringe, bro.
That guy's something else.
Yo, I can't stand him, bro. He's cringe, bro.
But, yeah, he did talk about when he grew up over in, and it was still apartheid, like when he was a little kid, and he would have to walk, like, on a different sidewalk with, his mom and dad, because the last thing that you want to see if you're living in a fucking racist country is a fucking,
Another, right.
you know, an
Another
interracial
Yeah,
couple, right?
yeah.
With a fucking mixed kid, that would, I mean, goddamn.
What do you think about apartheid? About the minority class ruling the majority class?
Yeah, it sucks.
Do you think there's still apartheid going on in South Africa? To some extent.
I don't know enough about South Africa. I haven't kept up at all.
What do you think about this apparent agenda that they're trying to end the white race in the U.S. and how make it just eventually it's just gonna be.
You don't think eventually everyone's gonna be mixed?
What
No, it is.
What do you think about?
They believe that it's gonna be
Eventually
actually
everyone will be
sooner than
mixed.
they think, where it's gonna be like in a couple years, like 10, 15 years. Eventually, it'll just be all mixed. There won't be no more white people.
Well, what do you think about now the minority?
Do you think it's racist
is no longer the minority?
Is it
it's just
racist
human.
to want to keep the white race alive? Is that racist?
Is
Like,
it-
I want to keep the white race going, and I don't want it to be all mixed. Is that racist thought?
I'm actually.
It's only racist if it's also racist if it's applied to any other race.
Okay, if black people, if Chinese people, if any race said, "Oh, I want to keep my race alive and not be mixed," is that a racist thought?
Bro, a bunch of other
I think it probably is.
a bunch of other races do it, and it's not deemed as racist.
Yeah, well, my
When
issue-
white people do it, it's like, oh my god.
My issue is
No,
that
that's just called breeding into power. Or look, there's a
I think it
video
still is.
called "History of the Entire World" by Bill Wirtz. Amazing video. Is it factually accurate? Ape, I don't know. I would like your opinion on it. It is a fantastic.
What is it?
What's your point? What's your point?
Is it? It goes into a little bit of everything of how societal infrastructure started.
Does this include something we're talking about? Ron?
Yeah, philosophical context, Jesus, anything. It's super based. It's all in there. Science, laws, power, money, everything. It's in there.
Does it talk about racism?
Yeah.
What were we talking about? I forgot right now.
History of the entire
I
world.
just
just
wanted
made
to
me
know
forget.
if keeping your race alive is racist.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Is that a racist thought?
The whole that thing. I don't think it is.
I mean,
What, royal families marrying into each other?
I think if you decide that you want your kids to fucking look like you, there's no problem with that. But if you fucking
Start chanting it and
if
fucking.
if you have something to say about like the demographics of everyone around you,
Oh no, I
and
don't
what
agree
they
with
should
that.
look like, then you start to.
No, I don't agree with that.
You know,
What if white people got together and they said, "We want to remain white. We don't want to be mixed."
That's their
There's no
problem.
issue.
That's their problem. As long
Yeah.
as they don't force other people,
People to do it,
fucking
yeah.
comply with that shit and try to kill other people.
So that's not white supremacy.
What?
The white people getting together and saying we don't want to be mixed. We want to maintain the white race alive. Is that white supremacy?
What do you mean by white people? Is this a
Yeah.
nation of white people?
The United States white person.
A white
We're saying
a
hypothetically,
a white
if they all
American.
linked up and
white
shit.
American that says what?
That linked up with other white Americans and they're like, we don't want to be mixed. We want to remain white Americans.
That's their problem.
Yeah, right.
Is it white supremacy?
How would
I
that be
don't,
white
I don't know where the
supremacy?
supremacy would be.
Like
They probably think they're
that's what I'm asking.
You sound like a Democrat.
They might think that they're.
asking a question.
Leo's just asking a question, though.
No, I know, and I'm fucking with him. That's the
But-
point.
They might have it.
This is my pod, bro. I can
concept
fuck
where
with
they-
Leo if I want to.
They might have a concept where they think they're superior to other people.
Fuck with
Hence,
the V N APE
hence
pod.
them not wanting to fucking mix their genes with that of other.
Listen,
people,
bro, he entered the chat room.
right?
He has to
'Cause
handle the
if you thought
smoke.
somebody's genes were equal to yours or even better, you wouldn't fucking be like, oh, let me avoid those genes. Right?
True.
You'd probably be like, holy shit, let me get some of that shit.
So they should
Right.
probably just fuck a bunch of Asians.
Not necessarily though. I mean, not necessarily. I mean, the issue is that they just shouldn't fucking tell other people who to fuck.
But we
what if they're just telling their own race who to fuck?
Yeah,
What
like
if they're
they're-
just telling other white people?
Yeah,
Right. Well, that's telling other people who to fuck.
yeah, but they're not forcing it on anybody.
Now, if
Well,
it's forced
do they want to?
No, they're just saying, "Hey guys, let's keep the white race alive."
It's like a peaceful movement.
yeah, like
Well,
we.
let them fucking say what the fuck they want. I don't give a shit what they say. That's their problem.
No, that's what Leo was asking you.
And I was just asking if that was racist.
And then if they-
I was really asking if that was racist.
and if they don't make it,
I don't
a
think it
problem.
is.
I think it is.
I don't think it is. That's not racist.
Okay, how it's
To
approached.
say that
then.
you need to preserve like the.
It is, I mean, it actually does in the name. Racism. You are being a racist if you want your white race to keep going and not mix with other people. It is being racist, I guess, in the most technical of terms. It is being racist.
Yeah, I just don't know where I would put it in terms of like seeing other, because it in and of itself that doesn't really describe what they think about other people.
Yeah, at all. That does not say anything.
It's not descriptive. And the term racism usually implies something of like a a prejudice.
Yeah,
or,
dog. Some fuck
Wanting
shit.
to stick to your own
You know what
race?
I mean?
or some value.
I just meant in a very
something like
technical
that.
way. It is racist.
But the idea of racism.
Yeah.
I'm disagreeing with that,
The
bro.
problem is that racism is a term that's been used for like fucking everything nowadays, to the point where they think they can measure.
They've skewed the view of racism.
Oh, absolutely.
Trust me, anybody
Yeah, they
that you
created-
ask liberal that, they'll be like, yo, that's immediately racism. But
Yeah.
I think it's more complex than that. Like, if someone just,
More nuanced.
like, if genuine, like, how do I even say this? Like, they're not offending, they're not offending anybody, they're not hurting anybody. Like, how is it really racist?
There's some people that think that it's even people in religious situations, right? You find Jewish people that believe that you shouldn't, procreate with somebody that isn't
not
Jewish.
Jewish.
Now, is
if
it
you're
approach
Jewish.
of mindset that
That's
makes
not
it
racist.
Right.
It's
That's their
approach
religion.
of mindset. It's now how contextually how it applies to that individual that creates that mindset. Correct.
I don't agree with it,
The
but...
problem is that we didn't define racism before we tried to describe whether or not something is racist.
Well, what's racism then? Let's go.
Right. So that's an issue. There's different definitions of it. I think it's just if you
Judge someone based off their color of skin.
and yeah, it's prejudice based on skin color.
That's it.
That's pretty much what I would say. Now, is the idea of wanting skin color to be maintained or look the same from one generation to the next?
Rizza Islam believes that
I would compare it to eye color, for example.
that the whites are worried about this, and it's an agenda that, or not an agenda that they're trying to. I forgot what he said, to be honest, bro. But he be on some the whole white shit and all that. But I don't know, man. I feel like I would want all type of people to be here. Like, it would be whack if we're all mixed at the
I don't
end.
think
It's
you-
like,
I don't know. We come from the same earth.
But that's where we're headed.
I'm not saying I would hate it. Of course, I'd live with it. Like, sure, I'm not gonna be like, yo, I hate people because of their skin color. But like, I appreciate that we live in a place that is all type of people. It's white people, it's yellow people,
diverse.
black people. It's diverse. Like, it is what it is.
It's people.
Eventually, it'll just be. We'll all kind of look the same. That's what they're kind of.
No, I don't think we'll all end up looking the same.
We won't look the same, but our skin color, we're all be the same.
I don't even think our skin color is going to end up being the same.
Everybody's going to be brown for the
Just
most
because
part.
people are going to end up living in certain areas, and there's no guarantee that everyone's always going to just
Stay
be
there.
moving everywhere all over the fucking world at large amounts of demographic shifts.
Yeah, bro, smart cities.
That's just people trapped. That's not people moving everywhere. It's like you need fucking serious permission to move somewhere if that's the case.
Whoa. I feel like, yeah, California is going to be like the first smart city.
But even if that was the
No, you don't think that the smart what do you define smart city? Because
A
there's
place that everything is super close to each other.
everything is controlled technologically, and
Cameras.
and it's basically the internet is connected to the way that every door opens.
Yep.
There's cameras constantly looking to see where you are.
Everything's a
Seattle.
10-minute commute.
No
Cars. Everything's bike. Everything's
Right.
bus. Everything's...
In China, they have a few. Right?
Isn't Japan basically majority? It's smart city. That thing is smart city central.
No.
You don't.
No, I don't think so. Nah. Japan's different, bro. There's a lot of different like spots. There's rural areas. There's very like city spots. Like Japan's very.
what the city has to offer. You don't.
Nah,
think,
Japan's not on some communist shit, bro. They're not like China, bro, at all.
They actually don't fuck with China.
Yeah,
so
bro.
like you're taking the ass. Like, what else defines a smart city?
What defines a smart city is the way that everything is integrated and interconnected. In other words, the way that in every store, you know how many people there are, you know who the people are, you know how the traffic is at all points in time, you know how everything is going because you have that enormous amount of
You have the
information.
control because there's no cars anymore. They pretty much control you in a sense
control
without kind of controlling you, but they control you.
Controlled demographic.
Everything is government
I
owned.
don't know what you mean by control.
I just want to say I support the World Economic Forum.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Leo's the
Guys
fucking.
watching his,
Go
guys
Klaus
watching his
Schwab.
back.
Klaus Schwab.
Guys watching his back.
This
but they-
man Leo
Hey, let's-
has a parody account of this man.
Yeah, that's all you.
That's him, bro. That's his
base
based on.
of the Maslow's. Physiologically, yeah. Yeah.
The first time I seen that shit,
Go technocrats.
I was laughing because I thought it was just some random ass dude that just like listened to our pod and was just like
I've been posting wild shit on
Trolling?
there. Like wild shit
and then I
on
see
there.
his fucking Leo and I'm like, oh
Dude, I've
my
been posting
god.
hella wild shit
That's
on there.
fucking amazing. That.
Yeah, bro.
That's great.
Someone's got to parody him.
Wait, how
right?
did you even come up with that in the first place again?
I would just fucking. I
Bored at
remember
the
I had
crib.
read something about it, and I was just like, dude, it would be funny because I've seen a bunch of parody accounts on Twitter, like of AOC and like Elon Musk, and just
They're
people
actually
just-
pretty funny
Yeah, they're
sometimes.
really funny. The AOC one is hilarious. So I was like, you know what? I'm a parody Klaus Schwab, and it just I've been posting some wild shit on there, and people are responding, and they're like interacting with me, so it's funny.
I seen that.
Yeah, it's actually someone told me something about it today. I forgot what they said, but it was some funny shit.
Calling it right now, it's gonna blow up on Reddit. It's gonna blow up on
I
Reddit.
hope so.
I
Look,
hope so.
this is what I told him today. I said,
Klaus
because
Schwab
he said, oh shit, connect me with the cult. I mean, World Economic Forum, please, thank you. I said, the forum is currently holding trials. Send a DM of the most oppressive, most globalist act you've committed against the capitalists caught on tape. Good luck.
Holy shit. Fucking man.
I'm telling you, I've been posting some wild shit.
Oh shit!
Jesus Christ.
So who else can we crack on? Trevor Noah's gay for sure. For sure, bro. You know who else is weak as fuck? Fucking what's his name, bro?
Oh wait, we're talking about comedians in good light though. You know,
I don't think Trevor Noah's a comedian. He's a late night show type of guy.
Oh,
He has
He's
stand-up.
stupid.
Oh, he does have stand-up?
He has stand-up, but he's fucking
Trash.
I'm not-
You know who's
I'm
bad
not-
now too? Jimmy Kimmel and these guys. They have you seen them like promote the
Yeah.
vaccine shit?
I feel
That
like
shit
they've
is
all
cringe
taken
as fuck.
leftist like ideals.
Dane
I
Cook
think
is
they're
coming
forced
They
to
value
the,
job security.
Yeah,
to the
they're
Hard
hard
Rock
to.
November
Yeah.
4th.
So it's either conform or get kicked to the curb. Bah.
Yeah, get fired.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Pretty much.
Damn, that is so
That is-
terrible. Even people with money, even people of influence, literally have to bend the knee.
Well, even I
You
mean,
bend the knee or you get beheaded.
I mean,
Well, it's
because
entertainment.
the
socially, you get
the
bend the knee or you get
system that's
beheaded.
running that shit is paying his pockets. So it's like
entertainment, yeah,
the
that's-
ESG
that's
cartel is alive and well, man.
That's the entertainment.
But the thing
bosses.
is, I don't think most people in America agree with all that shit.
No, they don't.
they don't know about it. That's the problem. I think a lot of
They only know about it superficially.
Yeah, exactly.
In the sense that
They're
they don't-
ignorant to the inner workings
Yeah,
of
they
it.
don't
Exactly.
understand how it functions, where it's coming from,
And how it's affecting
people
them.
don't got time for that.
Most
shit, bro.
importantly, how it's affecting them.
Yeah.
You think
Like-
a doctor is gonna be chilling, like, yo, looking up at WEF videos at night and shit? Like, this man has to wake up early. Like,
Exactly.
people
There's
got
a lot of people that are informed on it.
No, I'm sure, but I'm saying, like,
Well-
my example was someone that's extremely busy. People don't. There's so many people out there that don't got time to be looking shit up like this. Like,
Yeah, and it's also the case that it's very complex, like the amount
Yeah,
of
bro.
shit that's going into it. I mean, like if you look at the ESG, right, like environment, sustainability, governance, right, like these are metrics that they use to judge corporations, companies that you can buy and sell stock in, and a large amount of these assets are owned by a small amount of institutions, and so these guys can really change the price and value of your company. And they do, and
They definitely do.
and they've
They affect stock values.
Yeah, but
they
what
affect
happens-
everything.
They've admitted that they'll do it with a cause and a purpose that has to do with.
You don't
Right,
think
the
this
BlackRock
You don't
guy
think this
forced-
erupted from Occupy Wall Street, and that's where all these
No.
woke ideologies and ESG. It started from there, and it transformed into what we have now
No.
as ESG scores and all this bullshit. I
Well,
think it started with Occupy Wall Street, definitely.
I think
it
that
evolved from
I
that.
think that made it popular and then more acceptable for someone like Bernie Sanders to become acceptable in politics. So it really opened up people's ideas, especially like the youth that were confronted with that recession. They started looking for alternatives to capitalism.
bro, everything
There's-
stems from the woke shit.
But
bro.
the
There's
idea-
definitely a different. Sorry, go ahead.
No, the woke shit, but the woke phenomenon itself though is a lot older in and of itself. Just because of the way that it's morphed. Like for example, critical race theory is much older.
That was my next point. I think
course.
there's a big difference
I
between
mean-
a 1990s liberal and a 2020
Paulo
liberal.
Fieri,
There's a
this
huge
guy,
difference.
He was way
There
ahead.
is.
If you would have asked me in early 2000s, was I liberal? I might have agreed.
Yeah.
But now, there's no way I could tell you I'm a
Yeah.
liberal.
Well, there's and critical race theory is just one fucking pile of shit.
Yeah,
Ne-
exactly.
Next to all the other ones.
Yeah, it's one of their like,
Yeah.
what do they call those?
One of their branches.
It's one of the foundations.
Yeah, it really is race Marxism.
Yeah, that's it.
And then there's, religious Marxism, which is liberation theology. And then there's
Cultural Marxism.
cultural Marxism, which critical race theory is a part of cultural Marxism, right? That's the entire thing. There's Gramsci.
Queer theory.
Queer theory is alive and well, sadly.
Who's the queerest of them all?
Who knows?
Michael.
Of course it's me, dog. Why Leo gotta roast me on my podcast?
I don't
dog?
even know what to say to that, brother.
Come on, dog. You see how mean he is, bro? I throw him on the pod.
Shut the fuck up, Mike.
He's here roasting me.
Shut the
bro.
fuck up.
Yeah.
Damn, you got mad that I said that, bro? I was playing, bro.
Oh, it was better. Monopoly.
I just thought it was bad.
Etiquette?
Bad podcast.
I run this pod, alright, little bro.
Okay.
Monopoly over Monopoly. Always.
Titties over ass or ass
Ass over titties for sure.
Ass over titties, bro.
Yeah. Well, if you like tits over ass, you're a white
I
person.
think it's a weird thing.
You're definitely white if you
Because
like
the
titties
ass
over
is
ass.
something that is so like it just builds the form of the woman. You know,
Yeah.
like, I don't mind.
She
if
looks
it-
better when she has a nice...
If the foundation,
Turkey titties.
if the
nice
foundation
ass.
isn't like, she could have like an A cup. If the ass
If that
is
ass
out
is
of
on
here,
point, that ass is on point, my man. That is.
For
I'll treat the
real.
makeups like double D's. I don't go fuck.
Factory.
Come here.
Snapple
Come
fact.
here.
Fucking Snapple fact, my boy.
Fucking facts right about now. Let me tell you this.
That's like
This is the
Schweppes.
pod. This is where the pod really is
That's
at
a
right now.
Schweppes
Now we're podding.
rail over Seagram's.
Come on, dog. What else are we throwing
But
at?
let me just say, I mean, tits are nice, but ass.
How much would you
Oh,
rate?
dang.
Ass. The problem,
Oh,
the deal with ass, it's not just ass. Because if you see some bitch that got like some retarded looking implant, like,
BBL
her hips still don't look proportionate to the
or
ass.
the legs.
The hips though, the hips.
And you gotta have the thick legs. You
that
can't have
match that ass.
them. You can't have them skinny ass legs with
No,
a big ass.
no,
That looks
no.
weird. You look like you were walking on two
And you
popsicles,
look
two
like-
lollipops.
Exactly.
What the
If
fuck?
you had to build a chick like on some build a bear shit.
We talked about
Yeah,
this.
yeah. I
We made
know.
it.
Let's
Let's do it to
My
these
man.
guys.
No, I got a good idea.
type of.
No, I got a good scale actually to make it really easy, just with ass and titties. Let's
Just
say
ass and titties go. Okay.
All my girls have been built the same.
let's say it has to be up to 10. Like the main is 10. Like that's
Yeah.
the total.
Right.
And on the scale, you can put it all the way 10 for ass and then 0 titties and then like you
No, I would
see
be like 8 ass, 2 titties.
8 ass, 2
Yeah,
titties.
that's a good
Yeah.
percentage. 80-20.
Really?
The 80-20 rule. Yeah.
I would disagree with that one.
I'm sure you would.
I would
What?
I would actually go 70 as 30% titties. Cause I need
We're right there. We're like right
what
there.
would 20% be considered?
A, B cup.
A B cup?
Perky tits.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
With 30%, you could dabble into a small C.
I would take.
wait, but then we would have
I'll
no.
take that a step further actually and go on 8.8 for the ass. Okay.
I was gonna say
That's
okay,
okay,
I like
alright,
that. I like
alright.
that. I like that.
that our rating system is horrible though because if a 1 and 2 is A, a 1 and 2 should be like no titties at all. Like the bitch is just like
Flat.
flat as shit.
So then where does A and B cup start?
Like at 2,
6,
2, 3,
5.
2, 3, and then
2,
like
3 is A.
no,
Yeah.
3, 4.
What?
30 to 40%.
What is 10?
10 is like she got some
Some
fucking
double
D's,
G's. No,
like,
double
But,
G's.
but that's not like
Some extra
but
shit.
That's not like perfect titties. It's like
Okay, exactly. So you're
Oh,
right.
yeah, oh,
So we're
okay.
putting it on like the perfect into
because
you.
you could just if
But that's subjective to each of
because
us.
if 10 is just a fucking ass that's like fucking.
I see what you mean.
Humongous.
I see
Alright,
what
let's
you mean.
She
switch
looks
Scale.
like one of them bitches in a wheelchair at Walmart.
yeah.
Where do we
Yeah,
place,
you're right,
where do
you're
we
right, you're right.
place Marilyn Monroe on the scale of ass and titty?
She had
compare?
small both.
Did she now?
Nah,
She did.
I think she had a nice
So
ass
you
though.
never.
But
Okay,
it was
alright,
pretty
so
small.
you would say
It was nice, but it was
3 in
small.
titties, 7 in ass for Marilyn Monroe.
I don't know.
Aesthetically,
Aesthetic.
maybe. Not like
See,
size
but
wise.
you guys see that we fucked up already. 'cause
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
not thinking of it as a. They're thinking of it as a ratio now.
Yeah.
Of
Okay.
the distribution between ass and
We
titty.
gotta change it.
I
now,
just
yeah.
said, is it aesthetics or the size?
Instead of aesthetics, it would be considered 10 as a perfect.
Perfect chick.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Uh,
We're
well,
talking
I was
about
saying-
aesthetics here.
The
Yeah.
more perfect the ass is,
That's what I was going
the
for.
more imperfect the tits are, and vice versa.
So who would we use as an example here for, perfect ass?
That is a good
I guess
question.
I would go 70-30.
70-30?
Okay, so Marilyn.
70-30 is the perfect one, bro. I'm
It's a
telling you,
good
bro.
ratio. It's a good ratio.
It's a good ratio, bro.
60-40 is good too.
Yeah, bro. You gotta stand there, bro.
But you can't go lower than
60-40.
60. You can't go lower than 60.
I can't go 60. I
Why
would have
not?
to be like 75.
What's 60-40?
60-40 means that her ass is 40% imperfect.
But her tits are 60% imperfect.
Okay, how about if she starts
give a
working that variable? She starts working out and starts doing squats. Now she has a great ass.
No, see,
But you're adding variables.
You're adding shit, Ron. It's not the
that's-
same
you're-
anymore.
But this is math here. Distribution of what?
No.
This
no,
isn't-
no, no.
This man's just trolling now.
getting-
We're not adding X
This man's just
variables.
potting now.
Bro, this is.
You gotta tone it down, my
tangent,
brother.
tangent.
Well, science and math correlation.
Trevor Noah's a little guy.
All right.
You seem stuck on this Trevor Noah
Just
shit.
gonna keep throwing that on the pod.
I don't know, bro.
You were supporting him. Not too
I
long
didn't
ago.
know he was.
You were like, what? I love that guy.
So one fucking picture said this fucking
Nah, because I know who he
He's
is, bro.
fucking asshole.
fucking guy.
I can't
I
stand him,
hate
bro.
this guy.
On the topic of movies, though, just to segue into it, the movie Dumb Money released September 15th, and I still haven't seen it.
Really?
Yes. What is Dumb Money about? It goes into like the whole GME stock thing about like how
GameStop?
Yeah.
Were you part of that? Did you make any money on
I
that?
did
He
not.
didn't.
So then why the fuck does that interest
People
you?
are hilarious because they thought they were gaming the system when they fucking made a stock like really go up.
Because I got into
They
stocks
kinda
at
did, though,
13, but I
They
got
have
it.
no idea. They fucked
It
one.
would have been cool if you
They
made money
fucked
off it.
one or two big
I don't know,
short
stocks are
sellers,
just there.
and
It's
that-
there to make money.
and everybody else fucking
I'll tell
beats
you.
Lose
them
money
at
if
their
you-
own game.
Bad at it.
They have
Bro,
no
we
idea.
can't be having double convos, little guys.
True.
Let's bring this up in here.
No, I'm
The
saying
dictator has spoken.
in general, like
The commie.
the GME people lost.
Uh-huh.
At least the regular.
Why do you think that?
Because they lost most
Yo,
of the
talk
money.
on the mic, my G.
At least the way that it was distributed, like in the way that it works. I
low
mean,
guy.
you just a stock market. I mean, all you have is a shitload of money being put in and put out of a company.
Obviously, they don't
Right.
know the inner workings, Ape. Obviously,
no,
they're...
it's not. That's not what I mean. What I mean is like that these people that thought they were gaming the system, they ended up on that.
But a bunch of hedge funds did lose money.
that was like two dudes.
Oh, real?
Yeah, that
I
was-
thought it was a lot more than
No,
that.
no,
The
no.
media will make it seem like it was a lot more than two
It was
dudes.
just like
They-
two main owners of
Yeah, because
GameStop?
they were short selling it. And the problem is like when
They
you,
were contrarian bettors.
right, that's the issue. When you bet that that the company's stock price is going to go down,
And people inflate the fuck out of the price.
right, the price
You
can,
lose.
the price can go up forever.
Pump dump type shit.
It can only
It's a
go
pump
down
dump.
up to zero. Okay? So if you lose money on a stock, you can only lose up until the stock is worth $0. You can't fucking lose more than zero. When you short a stock, you can lose way more than zero. These guys
You can
fucking
go
lost,
under.
bro. These guys went under.
But okay, so the people that were betting on GameStop and putting in their money into it, some people made money. Some people
Some
made a
people
lot
are
of
still
money.
holding those fucking stocks.
They definitely are.
Oh no, there's
They types of
definitely
money.
people that did make money, but they sold that. They
But that's
sold
like
that at
Dogecoin, you know? People made money because they were like on the media hype early.
That's it. It wasn't based on any real strategy.
Pumping the
I mean, they were using like fucking technical analysis to try to trade stocks, like some fucking
like Dogecoin, which is just ridiculous.
yeah, that type
and,
of shit.
And the only reason it really mooned was because of Elon Musk.
Elon Musk. Well, the problem with Elon is that he ended up fucking just.
He fucked Dogcoin
He
up.
just recklessly promoted that shit and demoted it however the fuck he wanted. He was like, "Fuck it, let's make it go up. Let's make it go
And
down."
his obsession with the number 420 doesn't help.
That was some bullshit on
Yeah.
his part.
He was born that day.
He doesn't give a fuck though. I mean,
He thinks it's funny though, but yeah.
God.
Well, then to say,
He
Yeah,
fucked
helps-
people
it
up.
helps that-
He fucked people up.
he's eating
Have you ever-
Korean pussy in a fucking Tesla right
have
now.
you ever heard of some shit called compassionate capitalism?
What?
That
That
sounds-
sounds like ad cap.
How can
That
capitalism
sounds like
be
some
compassionate?
socialist trying to trick you into his bullshit, bro.
You know who said
That
that?
shit.
You know who said that?
Klaus Schwab.
Close. Killer Mike.
Oh,
Another socialist?
that's a funny
He's not a
Venture
socialist.
capitalist on
He's actually a
iOS.
capitalist, like, but he. It sounds like just with that term, compassionate capitalism. It implies
What's compassionate about it?
I don't know. There was an article that I was reading about like hip hop and like socialism, like the connections that there are. Obviously, Pac was like the biggest one, but he was so like he was so one day he'll be this, one day he'll be that. So it's hard to really
He
take
went
it.
to art school, so I can see how he was a socialist.
What does that have to do with anything, Leo?
My girl went to art school, and there was a bunch of socialists and a bunch of liberal arts people,
Yeah.
and they were just like
Oh,
eating. They
people
were
in
trying
that
to eat her
field are
brain.
usually that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then that's what I was reading an article, and then I actually still have it probably. And he was one of the things that Killer Mike said was compassionate capitalism, and I'm gonna actually look it up now because it is funny.
those are two words.
Compassionate
You put
capitalism.
them together. I still don't know what the fuck he means by that.
It's literally like it's Ape. You ever played the game?
You know what it
AdCap?
is? You know what it is? I'm assuming it's like being more compassionate with these funds that we're gonna give it to people and like just I don't know.
If by that he just means welfare state, we already have a welfare state.
That's just me guessing. That's what.
But
Yo, did you see? I'm sorry, this
No,
is
go ahead,
very
bro.
Go ahead,
random.
bro, go
This is
ahead.
very
Speak
random.
your mind,
Did
bro.
you see Chris Paul tiptoeing next to Wembley?
Who's that?
Wembley, one of the tallest players in the NBA right now. He's like 7 something.
That is
And that's Chris Paul, who's already tall as fuck, tiptoeing next to him to try to like.
I mean, why would he even tiptoe, bro? Like, dog,
dude, Wembley is so tall.
That's
He's like
what I'm
7
saying.
something.
Like, come on, dog. You're gonna look short
literally-
regardless.
Dude, he blocked like 3 people in 90 seconds. Like that's how tall he is. He's fucking
He must have
crazy.
some fucked up bones, bro, because that shit.
Dude, the way you see him
Tall
move, he's
people
so
actually
lanky.
die sooner.
Dude, he's so
They
lanky.
die earlier than
Yeah, they
short
do.
people.
They do.
Because they end up having issues and shit. That sucks.
Segueing into the gaming space, do you see what Sony's trying to do with the PlayStation 5? The newest iteration. I think it's ridiculous.
He's
how-
7'4".
Oh,
He's 7'4".
that is
Well,
pretty
folks.
tall.
Dude, what? I'm sorry. That's ridiculous.
That is a lot.
Digital PS5 costs more than the original released console for the edition that you have to pay extra with. Like, I think Sony is right.
Sounds like Sony's game plan. Make you pay more for shit you don't need.
They're really going into like an Apple-esque ecosystem here. Don't you guys see it?
Well, Apple made a good bet and it worked off. They have brand loyalty.
Not only that, everything they create is like brand exclusive.
Yeah.
Except now
And
they
they
went
can do it.
USB-C.
And
They
they
went
can-
USB-C on the new iPhones, but
They
still,
can do it because they have brand loyalty.
people definitely flock to Apple
If
products.
people were gonna say,
I mean, they're the best products.
if people were gonna
They're
say,
good. They're really
if
good.
LG decided to do that shit,
They
with
would
their
be
phone,
fucked. They would be
nobody
fucked.
would be fucking spending money for the exclusive LG.
They haven't
know.
built the culture.
No.
Apple has built the culture.
Apple is the culture.
But
We could
Literally.
say that.
would you pay $45 or $35
It's
for
the
a
biggest
PlayStation
monopoly.
5 stand? For a stand, for a little plastic thing that holds your PS5, would you pay $35 for it?
I would just stand
kill-
it as is.
I would find the CEO and fucking murder him. Right, the CEO of Sony. Look that motherfucker up right now.
Gotcha.
We don't endorse violence on this podcast.
That's my lawyer right there, mister.
You'd only kill him in GTA.
Allegedly,
GTA 6.
guys. Allegedly.
I didn't do it, but if I did,
And in Call of
This is how we
Duty.
do it.
Kenichiro Yoshida.
oh, that motherfucker.
And probably in Smash Bros.
Oh, you Hiroshima motherfucker, you, god damn it.
Damn, Ape.
What did you think about the United States conducting a nuclear test? They conducted a nuclear test this month. And Russia, for the first time in like fucking 70 years, they armed a nuclear silo.
I think that's I think everyone's
I think they're moving the first pawn in the nuclear, chess game.
it'll be a great thing to see
You think so?
when everybody goes to war and all the nations come in peace under a new
Do you
world
think
order.
we can become so stupid that we just annihilate everybody?
No, that's not at all what's going to happen. What's going to happen is there's going to be a big peace talk where all the nations unite under one banner and become one nation.
Anybody remember the
Globalism.
storyline of Black Ops 2?
Never heard of it.
Call of Duty Black Ops.
No,
I love how Ron can relate everything to video
I
games.
do remember
It's a very special trait.
Call of Booty Blackcocks.
What?
Hey, yo.
That boy spanked it.
Yo.
That boy spanked it to that several
You guys
times.
didn't let me finish the title. It's called the Call of Booty Blackhawks Hardened Edition.
Let me get the microphone really quick.
It hears you, Ron.
Yeah, here's you.
So, Call of Booty, you just look up on a specific website, Black Mamba, and the timestamp is 3:26.
That is so savage.
That is so specific. Holy shit.
Jesus Christ, Ron. And what was that link and timestamp directed toward?
With a point where he exploded in his pants.
What a
He creamed his jorts.
Jord creamer.
He creamed his jorts
you
at that moment.
Use context here for what websites I'm referring to.
That's a wild thing you said, by the way, my boy. Black Mamba.
326.
Okay then.
There you go.
All right, gentlemen.
I've been thinking of getting this tattoo on my ass of
Of Marks.
no, just
Hey.
on
Kirby villain marks.
on each one of the ass cheeks. I'm gonna get like some
Lenin
fucking-
and Marks.
No, I'm gonna get some
You're
big
right.
ass nipples on my
Okay.
ass cheeks.
So
right?
people could like twist your ass cheeks,
no,
like if it
here's
was
my,
nipples.
No, here's
So
my.
when she's hitting it from behind, she can see titties.
She can grab some titties.
Nice.
Right.
That's fucking
but
Nice.
that's not the end of it though. I mean,
That's fucking bad.
if she sticks around for that shit, because I'm not showing
She's
her.
the one.
I'm not showing her that shit on the first date. I'm waiting around. We're building a bond.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
on
You're
like,
building up to it.
on like date 12, because I'm very, like, oh no. let's
Can't be
take-
date 10.
Let's take our
Has to be
time.
12.
We gotta. I don't want to rush it. On some.
You pull out The booty tits.
But if she sticks around after that shit,
She's the one.
I'm fucking proposing right there. Let me
She's
tell
the
you.
one.
Guys,
If she can stomach the booty tits, she can stomach anything.
She can fucking stomach anything.
What happened if she gets the tattoo like you?
Then we're meant to be.
You're meant to be, right?
Booty tits.
Instead of titties on her back, we could put like
She could put some ass on her tits. What
How would she do that? How would she do that? That's so crazy.
I don't know that.
That's a crazy concept.
I don't know,
That's
I
a
don't
crazy
know.
concept, Dave. How would you do that?
You stick some fucking needles in that shit, you fucking make it look good, you know.
There you go.
new proposal, virtual porn. Would you guys try it with fleshlight and all?
Listen,
God
Probably
damn,
not. I don't even watch
This
porn, to
man
be
Ron
honest
is
with
on
you.
simp incel love right now. Holy shit.
That is
let me
insulting.
ask you, Ron, do you have a 3D TV at home?
You don't need a 3D TV when you got virtual reality.
That's true, Jesus.
And then guess what? You're so immersed, you just have a fleshlight.
This boy would be immersed 24/7.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't get him out of that virtual reality if
that
you
is-
tried.
Jesus Christ,
virtual
bro.
porn.
He'd be so far in that virtual pussy.
Are you implying that you would try it?
Of course. Do you not hear his hype, his excitement, and the inflection in his voice?
I hear it's the future.
Is it the future?
Yeah.
I mean, dude, you're so immersed. You're
This
basically.
boy said virtual pussy. I need it. I want it.
I want to know. It's
Yeah.
my
I'll
money.
pay for it.
It's my pussy. I need to know.
Ron will pay for some virtual pussy right now.
I think,
Damn.
The man started with hentai and look what it's evolved to.
Virtual.
Definition of a slippery slope.
What?
hentai is such a lo-fi form of porn. I mean, that's...
Is it the
Ron
lowest?
said he watched some last month.
Is it the
right?
lowest?
You were on that hentai last month.
no.
I
way
never
lower
said
in the world of
watched
porn, let me tell
any
you
type
that.
of hentai.
Yes, you
The
did.
last time I saw
Cap,
hentai-
Mike, did he not watch hentai? He
Ladies-
told us he watched hentai. And it was recent, too. It wasn't like, when I was a kid.
Putting my man Ron out
Putting my
there.
spot out.
No, but I do want to say, I mean, there's way lower.
Nah, I never seen
Oh,
it.
listen, before you
can
go,
never go low enough.
I was asking Abe, is there any other?
Is hentai
The what?
You can never go low enough in porn.
Oh, you
it's
can't-
so
oh,
true.
yeah.
And that's...
The depravity just keeps going.
Wait, but
It
what's
gets
the-
more and more depraved.
Nah, to
Not
be real
really.
though, hentai is like on some like 17 years ago type of bullshit. Where
Listen,
Cap.
listen. I don't...
Cap.
Ron, I don't judge.
It's okay, bro.
None of us are judging.
And I want you to be who you really are.
The hentai lover.
the virtual porn.
I feel
You're
this,
putting up a front.
This is a moment of growth,
Of self-realization.
of acceptance.
You guys are putting tangents in front of tangents.
and I
man.
want you to know that you are loved.
Ron, where else?
that's an
This-
acceptable tangent.
Where else to
this-
admit that? But on the V N APE pod, my boy.
Base. We
Are
keep
you
it-
non-binary, Ron, or you're
Ja-
open to the ideas?
No, I identify as an NPC.
That's beautiful.
Does that mean you have no libido? Like it's just like blank down there?
It
As
only,
an NPC, I'm only allowed to answer certain.
well, it only exists if you look at it, right?
Are you like aware what NPC is? Like you're proud of it? Like I mean, you
An
obviously play
NPC
video
can't
games.
be aware that he's an NPC, or
Yeah,
he wouldn't
for
be an
real.
NPC.
That is pretty. That is pretty. You're trying to fake us, dog?
I'm an NPC that has dialogue that just says I'm an NPC.
So I guess you could be programmed as an NPC to say that, right?
Yeah.
But you can't really believe it
But
because then you're not an NPC.
But here's
You're
the
existential.
Some Inception
The
shit.
problem that we
Hey.
talked about in free will, the problem we talked about in free will has to do with back to the ethics of pig fucking, right?
Right.
Say that pig fucking
You love
was
this.
wrong.
You love this topic.
Right.
Here we go. Yeah.
If pig fucking was wrong,
It is.
It is.
and you
Wait.
and you had no free will,
I'm not frogging around here.
and you fucked a pig,
I don't want to be Kermit.
hypothetically,
Right.
But I
the
do bring
pig.
home the bacon.
Hold up, Ron.
if you hypothetically fucked the pig, and you had no choice but to fuck the pig. In other words, it was impossible.
Just a deterministic
There's no way for
choice
you to avoid.
that I couldn't avoid.
Are you still guilty?
In that sense, and that hypothetical you just gave me,
Right.
But
No,
you can't
of
do
course
anything
not.
else.
Exactly. You can't do anything else.
So
Yeah,
then
there's
how
no
are you
other
guilty?
option. How would you
How
even?
could you be guilty, right?
Exactly.
How could Hitler be guilty?
Oh, I see where this is going.
He
Now.
had no other option than to kill the Jews.
How could Stalin be guilty?
So you're saying,
They had no other option?
Absolutely not. They had no other option.
and,
Why?
and Sam Harris's logic, no, because everything was deterministic. So how could you really blame somebody for their actions if there is no free will?
If they don't have the ability
To
to
have it.
to have chosen one action.
Free will.
That was their path in life?
Yeah,
That was their fate,
according
their destiny?
according to deterministic.
I don't know
But
about,
judgment. Their judgment by law. Who has correct judgment?
Well, there's a difference though between like determinism and just the idea of like there not being any free will. It doesn't have to be deterministic.
It doesn't. Okay.
Because the idea of determinism sort of implies like, oh, there's this predestined thing
Right.
at the end, but then that's different from saying
it's separate from just not having any free will.
They're two separate ideas. Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, and you would have to say, I mean, he had no choice but to fuck that pig.
I mean, in that hypothetical, Ape, of course.
He had no choice but to fuck that pig. Now, pragmatically, you still want to, if you think it's wrong, you still want to take him to task, right?
What do you mean?
Well, you can't have a society where you don't hold anyone accountable for the shit that they do because we don't have another system to it. I mean, otherwise you would just have fucking pedos all over the place and fucking...
I see where this is going. So,
accountability.
so in a society, let's say hypothetically that there is no free will and this and that.
Right, and then the court systems, I mean, we had no choice, right?
I mean, technically, yeah.
So they work that way.
That is kind of weird. That is a good, I don't know, though. It's like...
Imposing forced jurisdiction?
No, I'm saying, no, he's pretty much giving, like, an hypothetical, like, if, let's say there was really no free will, that how could we, like, like how he was talking about the Hitler shit and all that, but at the same time, we have no other way of living for people that do crimes and shit. We have to have courts.
Well, I still didn't get what you guys think about free will.
It's a hard one to wrap your mind with, because I'm still struggling to really...
figure out how it could possibly make sense that you're not choosing what is clearly in front of you, something that you're choosing.
Yeah, like, it's hard to really...
Yeah.
I really gotta, like, really do my research.
It is something to wrap your head around.
It's not an everyday thing that people just be like, yo,
no, it's
let me go into, like, free will right now.
It's
like,
not intuitive at all.
So, but I'm understanding it more now and shit. Like, when Sam Harris has these little points and shit, like, they're cool. I like them for the most part, but I still need to, like, do way more.
The harder one is when he talks about the sense of self.
Explain.
Where he says shit like you don't really exist, at least not in the way that you think you do.
Oh yeah, that
right.
Our imagination of me is just whatever my mind is. It's not really.
You have this idea that you're some.
I look a certain way.
Some singular thing behind your eyes that experiences everything.
Okay.
And you call that an individual.
I'm me. I'm Mike.
And that has a sense of self.
Right.
And you have a body attached to it.
Right.
And all that type of shit.
Where it's just a body that's just floating?
No, it's not a body that's just floating, but once you get into it, the idea would be something like if you look at it this way, right? Think about it like this, right? If you cut off an arm, for example, right, you'd still be you, right? If you ended up, losing your eyes because somebody fucking brutally took them out and kept you alive,
right,
you'd still say that you're you.
No
if
matter
you
what.
take it a little step further and you say that somebody took out a certain part of your brain and lobotomized you, you'd still be you, right?
Technically.
And then the different parts of the brain, each with neurological networks connecting to different other parts of the brain. You're not any one of those single neurons.
You're a collection of all the neurons.
You're a collection of all
You're
the neurons.
collective.
But if you took some of them out, or you took certain regions of the brain out, you'd still...
Would you still be you?
People would still consider you, and then every single atom that is born in you, once you end up going through years and years of life, is replaced by other atoms, and yet you still consider yourself to be you. There's no place for you to really be.
What's the question?
But it's the idea that you keep developing new atoms, that you keep developing just throughout your body.
It's difficult to encapsulate, but it's not purely just the idea of like if I chop off your leg, you're still you even if you're missing a leg. It's not just like that. Because that has nothing to do with whether or not you have your sense of self, or whether or not your sense of self describes you
So you go through a sense of evolution, adaptation because of different circumstances that have now happened.
Well, the problem is that people identify themselves with like things like their thoughts and the way that they feel. And this is why he stresses so much shit like mindfulness and meditation and shit like that. Because then you end up in a situation where you start to just observe the brute reality of the shit that's going on in the mind. And you just close your fucking eyes and concentrate on whatever's fucking happening right now, and you start noticing that like the thoughts that you have, like they just you didn't choose to have
that thought.
They just sort of pop up by themselves, and then the fucking feelings that you have, they sort of fucking
They just pop up as well.
pop up by themselves, and then there's this wave of thoughts that fucking come and go, or some of them might linger on, and none of that shit is you, and there's no thought about that. There's no thought you can have that would show you that this is you. That this is your thought, or any of that shit. I'm sort of brutalizing the concept right now.
No, I'm understanding, yeah.
But that's a little part of it.
It's fascinating. It's like, even though I am this guy having these thoughts,
You are having those thoughts, or at least those thoughts are occurring in your
in my
and
mind, in my mind.
The problem is that there's an idea of like there's the experience. Right, like you would say right now, you're having the experience. You've seen me. You're smoking a blunt. All that shit.
Yeah.
All of that is shit you're experiencing. And then on the other hand, there's no. How do I put this? There's just the experience. Right. So the idea is that his concept is that the experiencer, that's the illusion. There's just the experience.
Right. What's happening present.
And
right.
so the whole deception of people is that they're born thinking and they really can't think otherwise. And of course, how the fuck could mammals that walk on two legs and are pretty weak compared to shit like lions be able to survive if they didn't have a strong sense of self?
100%.
But that's more or less where he's coming from.
Damn.
You guys are giving me a fucking contact high, and I don't give a fuck if you guys say it doesn't exist. That shit.
That's super interesting,
That
though.
shit is kicking in right about now, let me tell you that.
That's fascinating. I like that stuff.
That's actually dope.
As soon as that Red Bull gets mixed in with that fucking Gatorade and that little...
That Red Bull.
That Red Bull.
That Red Bull was nice.
Yeah. Fucking... You know, Red Bull, actually... and I don't give a fuck. I like how it tastes.
Me too.
Me too.
Yeah.
That's good.
I actually enjoy it.
I actually don't like how Red Bull tastes.
You get the fuck out of here right now.
I'm more of an advocate.
Red Bull
for
hater.
Goat Fuel. Shout out to Goat Fuel.
Jesus Christ.
I'm an advocate for that one.
You tired, bro?
Fucking love Goat Fuel.
Absolutely. Well, not really tired. Just fucking ran out of shit to talk about for the most part. Unless you guys want to talk about goat fucking. We talked about pig fucking, but it might be immoral to fuck a pig, but still moral to fuck a goat.
Would you eat a goat?
I'll eat a goat.
I've eaten goat.
You've eaten goat?
How's that called? It's kind of bony. It has like bones in places you wouldn't expect.
I just put it. I'll put it to you like this, right?
Would you eat alligator?
I heard alligator bites are super good. Like fried alligator bites. Heard they're like chicken nuggets.
You know, I don't think I've tried alligator.
Probably a little fishy.
It's been
probably
offered.
a little gamey.
Yeah, I've been offered it, but I mean, goddamn it, I just didn't want to.
That's some real Florida bullshit.
Yeah.
It's down south shit. Because in Louisiana, it's popular too.
It really is fucking with me. I mean, the amount of times that it's not like it was once that they offered that
So
shit.
you felt like you were meant to eat it because it was offered a lot in your life?
No, I mean, honestly, I didn't feel like eating it, so I just didn't, you know. I just didn't want to try that shit. I mean, I just look at that animal, I'm like, what the fuck? Do I really want to consume this shit? I mean, look at that thing. It has fucking scales.
It gives you power.
It's like a shitty
It
dragon.
raises your libido.
What animal?
Shitty dragon.
An alligator.
Alligator.
Oh, the alligator?
It's a shitty
I
dragon.
never ate an alligator.
It's a shitty dragon.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it good or it tastes like chicken?
Oh my god.
You guys tell me, does it taste like chicken?
So
I've
what's
never
it?
tasted it.
Yeah, you know, actually, I've had some relatives that have eaten it.
Yeah, me too.
And they say that it tastes like chicken.
That is.
I figured.
Fuck it, bro. Why not just have a chicken? Goddamn.
All right. I mean, that's another version of a dinosaur right there. The de-evolutionized.
That's what I'm saying.
You see how we jumped to see this is all planned by your subconscious, Ron. You were talking about Red Bull. Red Bull gives you wings, and now you're talking about chickens. And coincidentally, what do they have?
We connected to tangents, and they're dinosaurs.
The tangent connector.
Shitty dinosaurs.
Anything else you guys want to argue about?
No, I mean, we could argue about God and shit, but that's so played out at this point. I mean,
Well, I was gonna talk about Carhartt and like one of the things he said that
what do you say?
that he believes that Oregon actually decriminalized drugs over there because the major population is white. He believes that a lot of this whole like drug shit has to do a
white people
lot
trying to
with.
get fucked up.
Well, I for the most part, I look to Carl Hart for his political views, and that's why I admire him.
His other views are kind of.
He believes that
Yeah, I don't care much about his opinion about drugs, but just genuinely his thoughts on political state law is really something I look to.
he said it correlates though that the fact that
Yeah.
you don't agree with
Well,
it.
you know what they say about correlation.
What do they say about correlation? Because
That it's definitely equal to causation.
What do you want to go? You want to go on some David Hume shit before we did? We got an hour left.
David Hume is a bad motherfucker.
Hey,
You've talked to him about David Hume.
he hates it. He doesn't. He hates it.
He hates the David Hume stuff.
Yeah, he hates it. He
Okay.
doesn't
I
like
never
it.
said I hated it.
He always is like, yo, Mike, you're full
Well,
of
I've
shit.
debated Mike on David Hume a bunch of times already.
Let's talk.
Let's go for it, yeah. But Mike, when you bring up David Hume, you also tend to invoke the spirit of this one Muslim dude who
He always talks about the philosophy of science. That's what he always talks
Yeah.
about.
Because that's has to do a lot with Hume, believe it or not.
Well,
Like
yeah,
they kind
that's
of
true.
correlate, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, Hume was huge in philosophy of science.
That's what I'm
To
saying.
this day, like the shit that he.
That's why I find that specific part of philosophy. I don't know why. I just find the philosophy of science.
What
pretty
I always
interesting.
argue with Mike is what's the utility?
What's the utility of it?
He gets on some Neil deGrasse Tyson shit. Like,
What's the utility of it?
it's like, bruh, if that was if everyone if we've always thought like that, we wouldn't have discovered so many things and have answers to so many cool.
so hence Neil deGrasse Tyson.
No, I say that to say because in a lot of
People can focus on that.
A
and
lot
other
of
people
dudes-
can focus on other things.
a lot of dudes who have interviewed Neil deGrasse Tyson always hit him with the philosophy of science and like shit like that, and he always is like, dude, I love your whole philosophy thing, but like, what's the utility, man? Like,
I love how he said, but see, that's hypocritical on his part because in the same breath, he'll end up declaring that, why should we invest so much money into a spaceship when we have, no reason to think that it's going to contribute anything. And then he starts talking about all the discoveries that were ended up coincidentally being made, by these
Right,
same
by-
space programs.
Of
And
course,
it's
we're
like,
gonna
well,
discover
what's-
things when we venture out into
Maybe it's
space.
because
That's obvious.
he's
Yeah,
trying
but
to.
you don't know how useful those things are going to be.
He's trying
They're
to.
gonna be useful in some type of way.
Nobody knows that.
for real, Leo.
There's no possible way.
the sub.
But I'm saying in some type of way it'll be useful to somebody. Maybe
Yeah,
not
but
to
that's
us.
not-
Maybe,
that's-
maybe not to
yeah.
us.
Yeah, I mean,
To somebody it'll be useful.
But I will say David Hume was very useful in developing the philosophy of science, which actually did translate into actual science.
it helped
because
science even grow better. Like
Yeah.
he was asking the important questions.
No, it did contribute a lot because it actually posed a lot of questions that were not being considered.
that I believe that
empirically.
a lot of scientists were being super lazy about when he was really thinking
Yeah.
deep about
Well,
it.
Science was, it was a completely different thing when he was around compared
True,
to what
we
it
c-
is now.
Sure, I guess.
What was he around?
Now those
1700s.
Yeah, now
Oh,
those
wow.
now those ideas have been fully digested
They're little-
by science.
Yeah,
You wouldn't say they're a little outdated?
So
I don't think so, no, at all.
Not really. I
At
mean, there
all.
were good criticisms, but
But without believing in the science that we have today, what do we believe in? You feel me? Yeah, if it's not 100% accurate, what do we build upon? If we don't want to believe it as a fact.
well, think about it like this, right? Like, I mean, on the one hand, we could always deny.
How can we build on it if it's not fact?
on the own?
it isn't fact though. Let's just get that out the way. By the way, science isn't fact.
Okay. So
Just-
how do we build on that?
Just saying.
So how
Go
do we
ahead, go
build
ahead.
on
Continue,
science?
continue. I don't want to
How do we
interrupt.
build on science? Well, the only way to build on science is through
Of
science.
guesses, of
And
predictions.
a cornerstone of science is repeatable results.
That's an important part of science.
That doesn't prove anything.
I mean, if you don't have repeatable results, then
That doesn't say that that's happening because of that, or it's gonna keep happening every single time.
but you can argue the opposite. It doesn't not say that that's like the answer.
Yeah, but
It doesn't say for sure that's the answer. It doesn't say that it's not the answer.
but there's this big implication that like, oh,
there's a
this
big
is gonna
implication
be.
that it is.
If I throw a water balloon at you, are you gonna get wet? You believe that? What's your
If the water balloon
what's your
pops
basis
upon
off
impact,
that? What's your basis off
If
that?
the water balloon pops upon impact, then yeah, it will get
What's
wet.
your basis off that though?
Just
Evidence?
experience in my life.
Experience, right?
Yeah.
Just history. Your
Yeah.
history with the object, or
Yeah.
how that's happened.
Yeah, of course. Yes.
There actually has been a lot of consideration about what causality even means after the whole Hume fiasco.
Fiasco? What do you mean by that?
Well, just the impact that he had on philosophy after he started, because he considered himself, he was an empiricist. He was literally trying to solve the same problems he was posing.
But what about the paradox theory?
What?
What do you mean the paradox theory?
The paradox theory.
There's a lot of paradoxes.
For real, Ron.
And a lot of logical, theoretical frameworks about them.
Just because, all right.
Hold that
you
thought,
go
bro.
ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I don't want to be tangent, man. Where were we? I just wanted to say
We're talking about Hume.
right,
Yes.
and I mentioned the paradox theory.
The paradox theory, yeah.
What were you gonna say? In front.
We're waiting on you.
Oh no! That was it. I just wanted to say that.
Oh, that's all. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. But yeah, like Hume is like so. He's important to philosophy. Like he's probably one of the most important, in my opinion.
He was, and he wasn't just a philosophy of science.
He had a bunch of other shit. He talked like he's had books and shit. I haven't read a lot about him. I just think that part of it is really interesting. That was like the one because I seen that Joe Rogan interview with Firas Zahari. He's like a dude who graduated in philosophy and shit. So he's good with the philosophical experiments.
Yeah, I do think it is important to like realize what it is that are the limitations of any frame of knowledge. I mean, no scientist would deny like the limitations of whatever research they end up conducting. Even if it reproduces a million times, they'll still be telling you like, and if we end up finding another paper where we replicate this experiment and we get the exact opposite results, it would do a lot to undermine everything that we know so far.
I mean, like the outcome is always open to change. There's no
But that's how science grows. Like that's the difference between science and the fucking Bible.
true.
You know, you're not gonna fucking pull up and edit the Bible.
But nothing is really for sure then at that point, right?
And, but what you have in science is not somebody saying this is
That it's a
true
fact
and
or
this is
100%.
false. This is our observation, is what they say. This is what we did.
Mhm.
This was the hypothesis. These are the results. This is my conclusion, and that conclusion you may agree with or disagree with. But the findings you're not going to disagree with because that's empirical, observation-based, evidence-based research.
Right.
So what's miracles to science? What's Jesus Christ to science, basically?
Jesus Christ to science. Well, I mean, Jesus is on a completely different sort of realm, if you will.
You can't really tie science to Jesus.
Yet we are trying to as humanity, and that is fascinating.
That's
If we could actually do that, that would be pretty mind blowing.
I think it has more to do with the psychology of the individual, the idea of Jesus, than
Wouldn't that just be religion? The teaching of Christ?
there's a lot more to the teaching of Christ, you know.
But yeah, there's a bunch of philosophical experiences.
He was his own
I've
dad.
done them with you though too, so
Yeah.
like the quarter trick, the one with the like if you've never seen a quarter or like a coin ever in your life,
Mm-hmm.
and if I flip it, right, and like when I flip it, a butterfly pops up.
Mm-hmm.
So you would based off that you would expect it that
If you flip it a bunch of times and a butterfly
a
always
butterfly
pops
would
out
pop up.
every single time, then yeah, I would expect that a butterfly pops up every time you flip a coin. If that's
Based
what I
off-
observe.
Based off that,
But that's not a distinction. That doesn't distinguish between correlation and causation.
I
That-
know, but I
that for
think
sure
Fierce
doesn't.
is
That for
Fierce,
sure
whatever his
doesn't.
name is. His point of that is that you can't deduce that if you could have deduced that logically, you would have known that off the first rip it would have flipped into the butterfly. That's his argument against science.
I think that's a terrible argument.
I think maybe I could be fucking it up, but yeah.
No, we've discussed.
I
that
haven't seen
before.
this in a while though.
We've discussed it before.
It doesn't really prove much.
No,
Science doesn't prove much.
My idea is
Yeah, it does.
my idea.
Proof?
Because of science, we're able to perform crazy ass surgeries on people that
Yeah.
save their lives.
My issue with guys
And that
like,
is not like theory. That's fact.
So the science.
That's not fact, Leo.
No, so
we
the-
keep saying fact though. That's the thing.
the
It's-
way you fucking replace someone's heart and put in a fucking bionical heart, a mechanical heart, electric heart, and it keeps them alive.
Well, why though? Because
Is
it
that
happened
not
a bunch
fact?
of times. And
Is that not
before?
fact?
Because
So
it
the-
happened a bunch of times.
Is it not fact that they saved their life
So
with a
to-
mechanical heart
The correlation.
or an
of,
electric heart, whatever it is?
correlation.
A
of-
pacemaker.
I wouldn't call it a fact. No, I don't believe in
So
that.
it's not a fact that they saved their life with a pacemaker.
It's just not a fact.
All
I'm
right,
not
so
saying-
here's-
How is that not a fact?
Here's my
They
question.
literally saved their life with a pacemaker.
Wait. To
Is
put
that
it,
not a fact?
to put it into perspective, so the correlation of science does not lead to evolution.
What do you mean the correlation of science?
For us having science,
Guys,
here,
it's really late. We're here potting. Just anything's
does
gonna
it
be
not
said at this
lead
point.
to humanity discovering evolution? Science. Does science not lead to evolution?
I don't know what that really
We
means.
discovered that evolution is occurring and did occur through
Science. Yeah, that's what. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes.
Of course, bro. I mean, but I wouldn't say that. I'm just saying science isn't fact. That's it. But scientists have already claimed this, like Ape have said.
Yeah, I guess the point is the level of skepticism that one can hold.
That's what Leo's upset about. Like he
Before-
doesn't like that I'm like
That you're pushing like
Not
for
upset.
some ultimate level
of skepticism.
of understanding where even, I mean, you could always doubt even your own senses and be like, is this reality? You know, like you could always do that. You might have
What happened,
to,
bro?
You might
I'm
even
looking for the Kiwi.
you might have to even look under that shit
But like, and all that though, Hume isn't wrong though.
or between the seats.
Like that's why.
Oh, it's here.
That's
Yeah.
why I think he's great because I don't think Hume is wrong in anything
fucking
and any of that.
You want me to reach in there?
He's
Yeah,
like,
please.
it's just an amazing critique.
I think the causal one is
The keys?
Yeah.
an interesting one.
Your keys are in there.
I'd like to see what modern
You definitely have to
philosophers
get
of
that.
science actually
Oh no, I got it. I'll push
would
this
say
forward
about
and
it.
go through.
But dude, there's none that like I even know about. I feel like that's such like who even does that now?
That's because people aren't generally interested in it, and because Hume was a huge contributor to philosophy in an era where you could contribute a lot to different sides of philosophy.
What the fuck are these niggas
But
doing,
nowadays,
bro?
a philosopher like he'll study philosophy of science and just stick his nose in that forever, and that'll be his career. Instead of branching out into a million different parts of philosophy, he'll just stick to one sort of part of the discipline. Everything is so specialized now. You won't have guys like Hume, or if you do, it'll be. I mean, that's incredibly. That'll be something else if a motherfucker like that pops up.
Why though?
Because there's already been so much that's been created, and so the more knowledge there is, the more you actually have to understand before you can even contribute anything.
I think you just get that side. I get that side.
Back then, when there was less knowledge, it was easier to contribute a lot. There was a lot more to contribute.
So what have modern dudes have said about Hume shit, or what has been debunked by Hume like that was like easily debunked like?
I'm not sure. I just don't see how his idea of causality being something of just repetition of experience demonstrates.
definitely way more over there, bro.
You sure?
Positive, bro. It wasn't this close, I think. Bro.
How's it gonna?
You gonna push it a little bit?
So you guys are walling. Why you guys pushing this couch? Go push it. That's it.
But just going back to your butterfly popping out of a fucking quarter or some shit.
Sure. Go hit me.
I mean, think about it like this, right? If let's say that you pour a liquid on someone
Sure.
and that person gets wet,
Sure.
is there any logical way to deduce that the person is wet
Is water wet?
despite without deciding that there was a liquid put there?
How about if you put a water?
In other words, can you show that that person was wet logically? I'm just trying to invert.
Can you show that that person was wet logically?
Yeah, can you show that the cause of that person being wet? Can you come up with an explanation of why that person is wet that doesn't include a liquid being placed on that person?
Of course.
Such as?
Sweat.
Rain.
Huh?
Rain.
That's a liquid being poured on him, water.
Oh, you're saying other than that?
Yeah.
Sweating.
In other words, can you say that the water or the liquid is not what caused that person to be wet?
It could have been a factor.
Ron
but
did
it-
say sweat.
Yeah, what about sweating? That's actually.
Yeah, he's wet. It's a liquid.
But it's not poured on him. It's
Yeah, he wasn't poured on
from
him. It was
inside.
poured
So
from-
Oh,
if
that's a
it comes from
semantic
inside
point.
up.
The point is that the person is wet. Doesn't matter if it got there because he fucking, he fell into a toilet. Doesn't matter. That's not the point.
But it's coming from inside, not really from outside.
It doesn't matter where it comes from. The point is that the cause of the
You
person
said-
being wet is that they have a liquid
I
on
guess
them.
just because of how you worded it.
You did word it with being poured. So just any
But
liquid.
that wasn't the point.
Okay,
That wasn't
okay.
the logical point that's
Just
behind it.
just a liquid that was on them. Period.
Right.
Can I?
Can you say that can you demonstrate, for example, because the idea is that causality is just based on this idea of experience and repetition and
Right.
shit.
That's the Hume.
Well,
This
if you
guy
can
showed.
demonstrate, if somebody could demonstrate an example of that, then I would be willing to accept that.
That's actually a good. I'm sure there is a answer to that.
Go for it.
I wish I could.
So you oppose David Hume's?
No, I don't.
It's a good question to that though. Actually, it's actually a good question.
Well, I could give you a million other examples.
Give me
of
another
shit
one,
like
give me
that.
another
I mean,
one, give me another
I
one.
could give you like if you're pushing something. right?
Okay.
If you're pushing like Diogenes was doing during the war, if you're pushing a boulder, a rock, or some shit up the hill, right? Is it going up the hill because it's being pushed, or because it's being moved?
Is it going up the hill because it's?
Is that the cause of it? Is it being moved the cause of it moving?
I'm assuming. Yeah, sure. By him pushing it.
And is that not causal?
Causal. What a funny word.
I don't even know how to answer this.
Is that not causal?
And if you can deduce those forms of causality, why couldn't you expand them into other things? Because those are logical deductions to causality.
I think you just made a short circuit.
And if they're logical,
I'm listening.
if they're logical points that lead to causality,
Mm-hmm.
in other words, that you can deduce them logically, right? Then why can't you expand on that into the rest of the empirical world?
Because you didn't know it would roll up until you did it, until based off your experience.
But what does it matter if I knew or didn't know? If I can show you logically why it would happen,
How would you show me?
I just did.
But you mean show me like literally physically?
No, logically.
Just logically.
Show you the logic.
Right. Okay.
And the logic behind it being, if I add 1 + 1 and it makes 2,
Sure.
is there a 2 there because you put together a sequence of variables that led to 2? And how could it be otherwise?
Skydog.
You fried him, Abe. Deep fried.
That is very well put.
Because at the same point, you're saying, can I logically?
I'm just using it. I'm just trying to express it mathematically.
I see what you're trying to say. I mean, I still think you're wrong though. I just don't have the answer for it.
You mean faith?
I still think you're wrong. That is a good damn, you guys got nothing, bro? You guys out here helping me nothing?
This is all you. You're on the spotlight.
I don't agree with David Hume, so I can't help you.
I mean, I'm obviously not.
Let me try to.
Hume has many intricacies.
Sorry, Abe, I'm
and-
blasted right now. It's late right
Let
now.
me try to destroy my own argument. See if I'm able to do it.
Go.
Um,
I'm retarded, bro.
you guys are familiar with the God of the Gaps argument?
No.
I've heard of it.
The God of the Gaps argument goes something like this. All right, you live in the universe and you think the universe had to have a cause, right? And I don't know what the cause is.
Oh.
And so therefore God,
Okay.
Cool.
right?
I've always thought that.
So I don't know the answer, therefore God.
That's what it is? Oh, I've always heard that.
I've
Yeah.
always thought that.
And of course, that's always been presented in philosophy as
Who gave
a
that?
terrible argument. in
Sure,
philosophy.
Who gave that example again?
That's a old. It's not a good example, by the way, Ron. In case you're thinking of using it,
I think it's just a common thing that.
But who gave that primary example?
Everyone
that just thought of life.
Is there not one main philosopher?
No, it's
literally humanity itself.
It's a collective consciousness.
Oh my goodness.
So the rebuttal to that argument is usually something like, if you see that there's if you see that there is that you left your phone somewhere.
Okay.
Say you left it there on that table.
Oh, I think I know this one.
And
you leave somewhere?
And you see somebody that's like somebody that's fully covered up, right?
Okay.
In a mask, if you will.
Let's go.
And you see in a video that they took the phone, right? You know that the phone was stolen.
Sure.
However, let's say there's only 3 people in the universe. You and 2 other dudes, and both those other dudes look exactly alike. Now, would you say, I don't know who stole it, therefore guy A as opposed to guy B?
How does
that relate to the God of the Gaps argument?
Yeah.
Well, if you don't know something...
Well, they both look alike, though?
If you don't know the answer to something, the logical answer is to say,
pick
I don't know the fucking answer. Not
right.
to say, well, I don't know, therefore some mystical shit.
Right, okay, I got you.
Right, and then it also has another issue in that it doesn't solve the problem, because, then who the fuck created God? And if you can say that God created himself, why can't you say the same about the universe?
That is true.
Anyways, this was supposed to lead me back to the idea of causality.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Somehow.
That's what I'm waiting for. That's what I was waiting for.
So, all right, you're in a situation where, again, there's a liquid on someone, and the person is wet because of the liquid.
How do you know that?
Right.
You're saying hypothetically.
Yeah, the idea would be, well, how do you know it was liquid that made him wet?
Yeah, I was gonna say, how do you know that though?
Right, how could it be liquid that made him wet?
Is there any other thing that can make you wet?
No.
Right, so that would be the... But how do you know that though still?
Because liquid is an exact formation of molecules that leads to that. To being wet.
Okay.
So there's no other way for atoms to form. They're at a certain distance apart or together.
So you're saying...
And when they're at a certain distance apart or together, they're either solid, liquid, or gas, or plasma.
So you're saying automatically with that argument, you're pretty much saying that...
No, I was trying to give you some help here.
I know. Okay, then continue. Go, because I don't...
No, I already gave you all the help.
How about foreign elements that are undiscovered that are...
The
you mean like when you stick some shit up your ass and...
No, like aliens.
The question, so that the argument would have just been why? How do you know that it was...
Yeah, that would have been a good rebuttal. Like, how the fuck do you know? I mean, maybe he's wet because, fucking, I don't know, magic.
God's pussy.
Yeah, sure. Right. You could have said that. What I could have...
I thought that was going to sound dumb, though, so...
Well, everything is made out of molecules.
Right. I obviously I thought all we have is liquid, like water.
And if everything is made out of molecules, and molecules can be a certain a certain distance apart or
you don't think sorry to cut you off. You don't think science is whatever is happening is just a new narrative?
Science?
Yeah.
No, that's definitely not science. You're thinking of CNN or Fox or some shit. That's not science.
Do you think?
I don't know what the fuck you're on. I would not want to go to a fucking doctor that says, well, whatever these motherfuckers say is in the paper.
Have you heard about the scientific revolution?
Yeah, but there is no just once. I mean, you could go back to who? To fucking Galileo, to Rene Descartes, and start
You don't think there's any truth to the scientific revolution? I believe that this guy brought it up. He said, every couple years there's a scientific revolution in science, and then it's some shit.
Science is not one thing like it was, when only physics was around and fucking Newton.
It's extremely developed. It's way new.
There's different sciences. There could be a revolution in one field in one part of one field. So to say there's a new scientific revolution, I mean, to learn something new that changes everything that you know about a particular subject is a revolution in that subject. It doesn't matter whether it's science or not. To figure out that you know more information now than back then, that's not an argument against science. That's an argument for it.
You don't think that? I mean, I've always asked this, but just that we just label things that we see in nature.
Yeah.
And just say it's like this, and it is what it is. That's
you label things, yeah.
We bookmark it. I forgot how he like detailed
you label
it.
things so you can communicate them, and so you can attach a subjective value to it that you can explore objectively. And by that subjective value, I just mean a sound. Any random shit you want to say. If I say my name, is Ape.
Could you know that fire burns you without you ever experiencing it?
If I could know that it, why is that important to causation?
Let me rephrase
Why
it.
does that matter?
Let me rephrase it even better. Could you know that fire burns you?
It doesn't matter if I could or couldn't. It has nothing to do with whether or not causality exists. It could exist whether or not I know it, or whether or not I could know it. It has nothing to do with whether or not causality is real.
It's just based off the fact
My
that
beliefs or my ability to figure out whether or not something is true or false has nothing to do with whether or not it's true or false. I mean, that's irrelevant. It might have something to do with whether or not what scientists think is true or false is true or false. But whether or not they could, fucking figure that out intuitively or some shit.
Okay, so.
But doesn't that kind of answer the whole thing that you were saying earlier about the guy with the water being spilled on?
What about the variables in science itself?
Because you're... damn, I had a good point. Fuck, I forgot it now. Fuck, what was I gonna say?
Water.
Whatever, I forgot that part. But could you, though? How about you answer the question, though?
Could I what?
Could you know that fire burns you without the experience? Without you having that experience with fire?
Without me having the experience with fire.
Could you know that it burns you?
Without me knowing that it burns? So could I know
without you having the experience?
Listen what you're telling me, though. I mean, without me personally.
I hope I'm questioning it right, by the way, because I'm fried right now.
I could have experienced, for example, other people being burned. Or videos of people being burned. Could I have that knowledge?
I'm gonna take a piss break.
But that's based off someone else's experience, so it's still the same thing.
Okay.
Technically.
Okay, so basically, in the way that we know, for example, other things that would happen.
His point,
like when you get close to a black hole. I mean, you've never had somebody get close to a fucking black hole, but you know enough about physics to be able to describe exactly what would happen because you know how every other element necessary to understand what would happen would actually interact with it.
I don't know though because no one's ever. Okay, I see your point.
Why did somebody else? If you need to experience it to know it, then that's an argument against your guy. Because then you would actually need the fucking experience to be able to know anything, and if you need the experience to know anything, then he's rebuting his own argument.
No, I think that is the argument, Abe. That
his argument is that you couldn't know it because you need experience. That's what
with object A, whichever.
That you need experience to know something,
or somebody else's experience. That's
True.
the only.
I just told you that you don't.
But how? But
I don't. I disagree with you then.
How come?
Why?
How do you mean?
Because. Yeah, because you can't. How would I even? What is? I'm trying to remember exactly.
You're trying to tell me that you can't know something without prior experience of it.
True.
Or with somebody you trust.
Or without the experience of somebody else.
Yes.
Right.
That's a fact. That's a fact. You can't.
It's not.
Hey,
how is that not a fact?
Do you
It's not a
mean?
fact.
How do you mean?
Your black hole thing is the argument.
If you have the laws of physics, you don't need somebody to experience some event for you to apply those same laws.
No, I'm listening. I'm really trying to think of an argument.
His whole thing would be that we can't even know that the laws of physics exist because it's like, I mean, they're all based on repetition or some shit.
Yeah, it's just.
Right.
It's just a guess. It's a bet. It's a guess.
I'm not seeing where the guess comes in.
I mean, how isn't science just like, well, it's just based off the experience we had that moment with whatever it was, and we're running with it. We're running with that narrative. Oh, look, this is what it did.
If you're saying that what we say about the outside world is based on the outside world, yeah. It is. How could it be based on the inside world?
How could it be based on that?
How could you? In other words, if I wanna see right what it looks like in Mexico, I would not go to Paris. So why would you go to the inside world to figure out what the outside world is like? It makes no sense.
This guy's good. I'm trying to
Right.
think.
Justifiable.
I don't know, man. I don't think. I mean, the black hole argument is good, but it's like you don't really. That's just their narrative as well, I guess, right? Coming from the skeptic argument.
Well, have you looked at any of it?
No, I haven't. Me personally.
Oh, you're not
no.
a skeptic then. You're just some guy who's a denier.
I'm a denier?
You're an outright denier. How dare you? The audacity.
Well,
It's alright. I don't understand that shit either.
well, guys, are we done?
Listen, man, I think we've fried ourselves quite a bit. All right?
Yeah, we have,
I'm feeling stupid too. I might look at this back and be like, "Fuck, he could have got me here, here, and here, and here."
I'm fried, dog.
If only he wasn't high.
I was a little.
This is why you should have paid attention in that dare class, folks.
V N APE, guys. Thank you for listening.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.